Well, I'll just rip out your face in one hit and eat your remains. Can't run from me after I crush your head open with my foot. More food for me. Bears, we up. Grizzle, grizzle.
Grizzle. That's a good one. I do have a couple clarifying questions here on this man versus bear question. Does your answer change at all if the random man who gets spawned in, it's a random Asian man?
Me?
Yeah, does it change? Random Asian man. Now, it could be Asian American. It could be Philippine, like from the Philippines. It could be from Mongolia.
That's so nuanced because at the end of the day, like, a man is a man. But
Yeah.
I know in certain Asian countries that the rates for rape are much lower.
Can you use rape or use SA?
Sure.
All right. Okay, so what about, going around the table, just yes or no question really quick on the Asian man.
No. Doesn't matter.
Asian man or bear?
Oh. Bear?
Okay.
Bear.
Bear.
Black man or bear?
Bear.
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 Okay. George Floyd or bear?
Bear.
Damn, okay.
Is that a fighter?
Huh?
Is that a fighter?
Oh, boy.
You talk about George Foreman.
George.
He did get into a fight once.
I guess still a bear.
Bear.
Still a bear.
All right, okay. Wait, so you brought up SA. Just curious. So, I mean, all of you must be doing some sort of risk assessment as to, well, what's the chance that a guy like either murders me or SAs me, basically. So, I mean, what do you guys think is the percentage chance of, or what percentage of men do you think would be inclined to, in the situation where you're alone with him in the woods, would be inclined to attack you in some way? What percent? Let's say of U.S. men.
75%.
75%, okay.
50.
50%.
50.
50%.
I'd say like 10 to 15%.
10 to 15. Wait, so you said 75, was it?
Yes.
75% of men.
Yes.
So 3 out of 4 men would SA you.
Yes.
Damn, that's pretty high. How did you
insane.
come to? Is this backed by a statistic you're aware of, or how do you come to that?
Just my opinion, not saying like me specifically, but like a woman. I think 3 out of 4 men in that circumstance, there's definitely a possibility that they would seize whatever opportunity that came to their mind.
3 out of 4 men.
Yes.
Do you think, knowing this, have you seen? It's a very old movie, so maybe you have it. Minority Report.
No.
So you could essentially, before someone committed a crime, people were able to like find out through this sort of sci-fi situation. You could determine if they would commit a crime in the future, and then people would just get arrested. Would you be in favor of something like that for men?
For everybody.
But do you think we should? I mean, you think 3 out of 4 men would SA women? Should we imprison those men preemptively?
No.
No. Okay. Even though they're 3 out of 4 men, you think will?
Is an absolute definite, like, this person is going to SA someone.
Wait, let me ask you a different question.
Okay.
Removing this hypothetical scenario.
Sure.
Do you think 3 out of 4 men who live in reality, who are currently alive,
Okay.
at some point in their life will SA a woman?
No.
Do you think 3 out of 4 men at some point in their life will be alone with a woman?
Yes.
But so, I'm a little confused here.
Okay.
You said 3 out of 4
hang on. I understand what you're saying here. Let me see if I can clarify it. Do you think that 3 and 5 men, if given the opportunity, would get away with it 100% and nobody would ever find out would SA a woman?
Yes.
Wait,
Okay.
I think she said 3 and 4.
3 out of 4, excuse me. Yes, 3
Yeah,
out of 4.
3 out of 4.
75%.
75%, yeah. Wow, okay. What about the male students at UCSB? 3 out of 4?
I don't go to UCSB. I wouldn't know.
City College.
I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know. And it's not like for a fact, 75% of men would commit some type of SA if possible. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay. Chat, what's the adult male population in the USA?
So 168 million men.
106. It says
about
165 million adult males.
Still very
so
impressive.
75% of 165.
I mean, you're probably within the margin of error there, Q.
Yeah.
Yeah, give or take 5 million.
So 123. Let's just say 123 million.
Well, because they don't count all the illegals, right?
right.
Wait. So do you think that 123 million men in the United States are inclined to this sort of thing?
What are the SA statistics of last year?
Oh, really low. I can tell you that.
Low? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
I'm just using your numbers.
Yeah. No, I genuinely don't know. So.
But you said 3 and 4.
Right,
So,
3 and 4 in the situation of
In the situation.
of the bear or in the woods.
yeah, in the woods.
Yeah, in the woods.
Okay.
So if you want to put it in population numbers, You said 125 million?
So, well, 3 of 4 men would be 123 million
123 million.
men in the United States would do this.
I think there's a possibility that in the situation of the woods,
Yeah, if they were put in the woods.
123 million men, I think there's definitely a high possibility.
Do you have a brother?
I do have 2.
2 brothers? So one of your brothers then would essay a woman in this situation.
Based on random probability.
Well, you said 3 out of 4. So
No,
one of
my
them would
brothers
definitely.
are 4 and 5, so
Well, let's say when they come of age,
Like-
when they become adults, your brothers, one of them.
No, I mean, 4 out of 5 is higher. That would be a higher percentage, right? So if it was only split between 2 and it was 4 out of 5, then that means almost certainly one of them would.
Well, 3 or 4, but I mean, obviously you can't have a
I think
quarter
it's
of
the
a person.
ages,
The
right?
ages of
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
She was saying
ages
ages.
She said the
4
ages of
and 5.
Yeah. So, you think one of them, when they become adults, will?
My brothers,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, do you have? You just have 2 brothers,
Yes.
right? You have a father,
Yes, I do.
male cousins,
Yes.
uncle,
Yes.
grandparents,
Yes.
grandfather. 3 out of 4 of your male relatives, are they also? You think they are also essayers?
Absolutely not.
Well, hold on. What's going on in your family that is so
Pious.
morally virtuous as compared to the general population?
I think we could take everybody's family here and ask the question around the table. Do you think that your father, brother, cousin, so on and so forth, would be an essayer? And I genuinely believe everyone would say no.
It's a
I would say
possibility.
yes.
Okay.
Not me.
Okay.
I agree. My family would not. I have 1 brother, 1 dad. Hell no.
Oh no. Okay, now we got to do it again.
Hell
We got to do
no.
it again.
No.
Here, repeat after me. No.
No.
Well, okay.
It's a little bit harder.
No.
No. If I say quicker, no.
No.
No. Did I get
Okay,
it?
a little better. A little better.
No. No, but I would get to say so.
Like, how would you know that if, again, your point was if they were in that situation where no one would ever find out, how do you know for certain that none of your relatives would do it?
Because to me, my relatives aren't random.
Okay, well, they don't have to be random and it doesn't have to be you.
Right.
It's just in
But-
general, like,
but that
how would you know that your specific relatives would not do it if it's 3 and 4? Like, and again, no one would ever find out. How can you know for certain that they would not do it?
You can never know for certain. I couldn't know for certain. Do I believe in my heart that would never something that would take place? Yes. But the question that was posed was random men. And my family members aren't random to me. A person walking down the street, would I want to be put in the woods with them? Absolutely not. Would I be put in the woods with my father? Sure, that's a camping trip.
Well, what do you?
One of the things that kind of hits here, though, is that 8 in 10 of the women who report that this has happened to them report that it happened from a person that they knew very well.
Yeah.
I was about to say that.
I was going to say the same thing after they got done. Your likelihood of being essayed depends mostly on the person knowing you. I'll say random men, but a random man doesn't know you either. And the first thought in his mind is not going to be, oh, that's what I want to do. He doesn't know you. Most guys, when they get comfortable with you, is when they feel comfortable enough to make a move on you. And it's because you could send them signals to where they interpret it as you're interested. You're finally alone. They get the confidence to actually do that. Most men don't have the confidence to even do that. Most men are scared to talk to women. They don't even approach women. They won't express sexual interest. A random man in the woods, he see you, hell, he might be scared of you, honestly. And knowing modern women, he like, this bitch might report me for rape. I'm sorry, great. She might falsely report it. I ain't touching her.
Okay.
So that's something to consider. I mean, when y'all answering these questions, remember that, like Andrew said, most of the time when this occurs, it's by somebody you know.
Yeah, I didn't know that statistic, so thank you for educating me on that. I didn't know.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Andrew, did you have? I think you're asking Emma here something because you said I really want to do the bear versus man thing. Did you want to get into more of that or?
Yeah, I just find it ironic that you have kind of this concern that if a random man was just going to pull out of the entire demographic of the United States, put in a forest with you, that you would take a bear, which, of course, pound for pound, you do realize could tear you to pieces very, very quickly, right?
Yes, I did know
Yeah,
that.
okay. But you have indeed gone and met with complete strangers who you even had terrible feelings about, right? And thought you were going to end up on the news and just kind of justified it with, well, that's a hell of a way to go, right? Doesn't that seem a little contrary to your position, that you would trust a strange bear over a strange man?
Carson, can you close the doors?
I feel like bears don't have the intentions that men do, and I think that men have sometimes, especially if it's a stranger, horrible intentions.
Okay, so I have a question. Like
Yeah.
you said that you ignored all the red flags because he was gorgeous. What if it wasn't absolutely like 10-10, your perfect type man versus a bear?
Probably Probably him then. Yeah.
What kind of bear are we talking about? Black bear or a grizzly bear?
Let's go grizzly because y'all try to take the easy way out with bears that are less aggressive. So let's go grizzly. An opportunistic predator, omnivore, and has been known to attack people and kill people. An opportunity is given. Let's go grizzly.
I'll still try to cuddle with it.
You're still trying to cuddle with the grizzly? 5 feet at the shoulder,
I think I can earn his trust.
1,200 pounds.
I mean, I still don't understand this either, though, because black bears are extremely dangerous. They're in the top 5, right? They're in the top 5 categories. And it's like, this idea that, it's a black bear, it's fine because black bears are like the cute, cuddly kind. It's like they're still really, really dangerous, especially because they become acclimated to human beings because they feed them all the time. Mm-hmm. Right? So they get really comfortable. So it's like, they're still really dangerous. So just pointing that, I mean, yeah, grizzlies are more dangerous. I grant that, but black bears are still really, really dangerous. I would still just go with random bear.
Still bear. Everybody still bear.
I have a couple clarifying questions. Maybe these will help. So I wonder if, Austin, do you know that video of like the bear crossing on the road? I'm not sure. It might be in the downloads folder, but I don't know exactly where it is. If you can try to find it. So let's see. Okay, you're on the top floor of a burning building for an appointment. There's 2 elevators. You got to take the elevator to get down. Elevator 1 has bear in it. Elevator 2 has a man in it. Burning building. You got to get down to the ground floor. You got to take the elevator. Which elevator do you pick? The one with the bear or the one with the man in it? And you're the only one there. And the man, there's no other people.
The man.
Man.
In that case, I would choose a man.
Okay. Huh, all right. Interesting. All right.
Well, the bears would start freaking out like completely. It's a burning building.
And then Brian, it's a burning building. The man kind of trying to get out too.
Yeah.
So if you
I mean, not before.
There wouldn't be enough time.
Woman coming in the elevator, fire,
Shit.
woman, definitely. It's my last opportunity. I might not
I
make it
thought
out.
the whole point of this was that not every man has that intention.
Facts.
They
What?
don't.
That's a
Yeah,
joke.
they
So like
don't.
either way,
joke. I
everyone.
think
Was,
that's a joke.
I was like, everyone wants to get
That
off
was
the
your
damn
first thought.
elevator.
You wanted to talk about, Emma, you wanted to talk about hookup culture and toxic relationships. What about hookup culture? Did you have thoughts on?
It's all bad.
It's bad.
Yes.
When's the last time you hooked up with somebody?
Probably the last guy who I thought was going to kill me.
Wait. The Asian guy.
Yeah.
You said that was when? 2019? Or wait.
21.
Or 2021. So like
Yeah.
3 years ago?
Yes.
Wait, you have not hooked up with somebody since then?
Actually, that's false.
You're a fucking liar! You're a fucking liar!
What's false?
I actually have hooked up with a couple people. My ex that I was with for a couple years.
The 2-year guy?
Yeah, 2-ish. It was off and on for another like 2 years, I'd say.
Is this after the no furniture murderer guy?
That was kind of in between that.
Okay. Wait, so when's the last time that you hooked up with somebody? Like last week?
No, not last week.
A month
probably
ago?
like a year or two.
But, like,
Nobody in 2024. So think about 2024. Nothing?
Correct.
But like, didn't you say you were like in a few situationships this year?
Yeah.
Like, were
But
they
you
not?
didn't.
And they like were only like a week or 2 long.
Yeah.
Do you not consider that hooking up?
No.
You were just talking to him?
Yeah, dating. Yeah.
You didn't sleep with him?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
There was no
yeah.
carnal knowledge?
No, I'm a nice
Just
girl.
for a second, just to see how it feels.
Wait, what do you mean you're a nice girl?
Like, I want a man to take me out on a
Oh,
date
boy.
or a couple dates or a while.
Oh, boy.
Right.
What?
Unless you meet him on Tinder and show up to his house and
Right.
Wait,
thinks he's a serial killer.
wait, I'm
Right.
just curious. And hold on, I don't even know how to approach this. So you said you're a nice girl,
Correct.
and you want a guy to take you on a couple dates.
Yeah.
And so what does that mean? Like you want him to take you out to dinner, or what does that mean?
No, just like date for a while. I feel like it's also about like not just the timing, but I don't know how to explain it. But there's like a right time and a wrong time.
Ovulation?
No.
So what do you mean?
Like there's a certain time in a relationship where I think like sex starts to happen. Specifically for me, like it has to be a while before anything like gets anywhere.
So just to be clear, you have though been like you didn't hook up with them, but you were dating them for a period of time.
Yeah.
What? I'm assuming they wanted to have sex with you.
Probably.
They didn't try?
No.
They didn't try?
No, maybe that's yeah.
Okay. Because this no furniture guy, he
Yeah.
tried within an hour, but I guess
Right.
some guys move slower. So what is that point in a relationship? A month in?
Yeah, I'd say a month
2 months,
in.
3 months?
Yeah.
Okay, and you said you wanted the guy to like go on some dates first.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say you met up with the guy though on the first date, and you liked him or whatever, and he tried. Would you have sex with him, or would you be like, no, I like you, but like let's wait a bit? Is that something you do, or?
It depends. It depends on like what I'm feeling, but probably not.
Probably not. Okay. So you have there been guys who have tried to hook up with you, and you're like,
Not that I know of. No, I don't think so.
and you meet these guys on Tinder?
Not always.
Oh. You said you were recently in a situationship. Was it a month ago? You said.
Yeah. Yeah. About.
You guys didn't hook up,
No.
and it lasted a week.
Couple weeks.
Couple weeks.
Yeah.
He was trying to hook up.
No.
How was this? Was he coming over? Did y'all go out? Did y'all have?
Yeah, we walked on the beach a couple times. We got like lunch.
Did you
Yeah.
kiss him?
Did I? Yeah, of course.
And he never tried to escalate to anything more?
I like introverted men, so maybe that's why.
Oh.
A little shy, maybe.
Maybe they're like scared to make a move or something.
Yeah, that's definitely
Yeah.
what it is. You don't like men who take charge? You don't like assertive men?
I mean, sometimes, but
Depending on how attractive he is?
no. I feel like there's a specific like type of person that I like, and it tends to be like the introverted men who don't make moves that often.
So here's a question though. Let's say the next guy that you meet, and you, I don't know exactly all the circumstances of how it goes down, but first time hanging out with him, and you guys have been hanging out for 3 hours. You're at his place, you guys start making out, whatever, and then he wants to take things further. Would you take things further, or would you be like, no, let's wait?
Probably not. I don't know.
Oh.
I think it also depends on specific scenario, but usually I would say no.
Wait, usually you would say no
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah, or I mean,
So
yeah.
just curious, what was there was the 6'2", gorgeous Asian guy.
Yeah.
Did you have this position when you were talking with him?
No.
Okay, so back then you were like, just kind of
Yeah,
totally
I
fine.
went with the flow.
And then what changed?
The other guys wasn't as attractive as the 6'2" Asian guy?
No, that's not the case at all.
Okay.
I don't know. I think what I look for in men is just not someone who like makes a move the first time we hang out. I've also, I think, internally matured a lot to make that change.
Why, you don't want to feel like you're being used for sex? Or they're just after?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know there was a debate going on right now. It's like,
Oh, yeah, you talking about?
there's a
Yeah.
Yeah,
Took
yeah,
a lot
someone,
of,
yeah.
I had
took
no
a lot
idea.
of flack for coming on tonight.
Oh, yeah,
Covering the
I
debate.
forgot.
Yeah.
I probably would have pulled out too, Brian.
But I guess like this always comes up on the show, and it's always kind of, I still haven't been able to perfectly articulate kind of why it rubs me the wrong way. But Q, maybe you can weigh in. It's like, so you told us this story where you went over to a guy's house at 10 p.m. You just met him, and you slept with him within an hour.
Correct.
And as a guy, look, it's your call as a woman. If you could have slept with 100 men within 30 minutes of meeting them, first time, and then the 100th one, man number 101, you're going to make him wait until marriage. You can do that. Like, that's your choice as a woman. But if I was the guy in that perspective, if I was potentially guy number 101 to come around, I would not accept that. Insofar as I just wouldn't, it would be such a, like, almost a slap in the face. I'd just be like, I'm not waiting for you, goodbye. I don't want to date you. And so I guess I'm trying to like wrap my head around like that whole thing.
Well, I mean, there's a couple factors at play. The first thing is closed mouths don't get fed. So if a guy is with a girl and he doesn't make a move or he's not assertive, then she's gonna take the path of least resistance. If he ain't asking, if he ain't trying, she ain't gonna give it up. She ain't just gonna throw herself at her.
I'm not talking like in her situation where she's dating these introverts that are scared to make a move.
You talking about
like, for example, I've encountered this before where it's like, I tend to vet the girls a little bit, so I'll ask them about their past relationship history, their dating history, and they'll typically reveal, I've had some one-night stands, flings here and there. They'll say even they'll even tell me how recently, and then they'll be like, well, I want to get to know you better, and I want to wait 3 dates, blah blah blah, and all this shit, and I'm like, I lose interest. I'm like, okay, well, look, I am interested in a long-term relationship, but I'm also not gonna wait 3, 4, 5 dates. I'm not gonna wait 1, 2, 3 months for sex because I'm not a virgin. I'm not waiting. You're not a virgin either. We're both adults. Like,
yeah, women have these little episodes where they don't want to be seen as whores as well, even if they are. It makes no sense to us as men, but there are moments where women decide, like, I'm not going to do this again, or they didn't like the fact that they hooked up with a guy and the guy didn't stay around, so they're like, I'm not going to give up sex too quickly, because we also got to remember sometimes the guys that women hook up with, they probably do want to pursue something further with, and the guy just doesn't want to. So it's different scenarios, it's different factors at play. And as a guy, of course, you have the right to say no. I would, in that same situation, I would do what you do. Like, I'd be like, no, I'm not waiting. And other guys didn't have to wait, but I'm typically the guy who gets it when I want it, as soon as I want it. So I can't relate to the men who wait in line or who get denied sex. So from your perspective, I do understand, but there are times where women are just like, I want to change. I want to be different. I want somebody to court me. I want somebody to romance me. And they don't think about the fact that they've been whores in the past. They don't consider that, and they don't care.
But I mean, the thing with that, though, is that I don't actually even believe that that's even genuine, because if an attractive enough guy comes along and she knows, even if he's direct about his casual intentions with her, if he's attractive enough, she'll still
Hail and well met.
the rule.
Lol Paladins donated $200.02. It's not that confusing. Women don't need to trust a man in order to sleep with a man. Stop swallowing your blue pill. They are telling you that because you give off Billy vibes. Don't be a chump.
Not necessarily. I mean,
but let me say, to your point, what they'll do, because I've experienced this, is they'll try to change your mind. That's what they try to do. They'll give it up, and they'll go along with the flow, thinking that you'll change your mind. If you tell a woman, I'm not looking for anything serious, I just want something casual, they'll try to change your mind. I've experienced that, and guys who also have dealt with that will tell you that they'll try to change your mind. Yeah,
sure. I guess my point of contention is more so, even as a guy, even if you're desirous of a serious relationship with this girl, she's going to withhold. But there's no actual guiding values or morals there. It's just this arbitrary thing to get compliance from you, basically.
So, well, I have a much more biological, psychological perspective. I think it's just the power of attraction. I think it's just like with her case. That's why the dude that she found super, super attractive could have a mattress on the floor, and she could still think that he was on drugs and would kill her, but she still slept with him because she said he was gorgeous. That is just a neurophysiological response in the female brain. If she finds you attractive enough, then she will overlook everything else about you that could be hazardous, a red flag, and she'll still sleep with you. That's the way attraction works. It's biology.
I could see that situation going both ways, though. Like, she could still try to do the leverage move of, like, I'm going to wait, still, even in that situation with a really attractive guy, or she breaks her rules for the really attractive guy and fucks him anyways. I could see it going both ways. But again, my whole issue here is, I certainly acknowledge that. It's more so from the perspective of, hey, this woman, she's been promiscuous in the past, gave it up easy. Now you're the next guy who comes along, and then she decides you're the guy who she's going to make wait. And in my view, I think that makes, if the guy does wait, makes him a sucker.
Absolutely.
Makes him a total sucker.
Yeah,
and he should just go find a girl who has either it's weird though, because these girls could still have genuine desire for the guy, but still be, okay, I'm going to play this game as leverage to get commitment, or because I think that this is the right thing to do, or the right move to do, or this is what I read in fucking Cosmo, or I saw on some TikTok, you got to make the guy wait 1, 2, 3 months.
The self-healing journey,
to
trying to find themselves, they're trying to change it up. Yeah, all of those things play a factor in their attitudes towards how they proceed with next. I told you, they just be trying to change.
But they'll do this even if the guy, like, at least for me, for example. So I don't have any qualms with sleeping with a girl on the first, second, or third date. Right. No qualms there. And if I see long-term potential, it's not going to matter if we hook up quickly.
Right.
Like, I don't know if you've had that experience, probably your girlfriends.
No, absolutely, yeah.
Your long-term relationships. Was it, let's wait 2 months and then get into a relationship, then have sex? Or was it, have sex quick, and we continue hooking up, now we're in a relationship?
It's right there, that one. That's my dynamic. Yeah.
That's always been all my relationships. So when these girls, though, come and they're like, well, I want to get to know you better, I'm like, you just lost a relationship. I'm no longer interested.
I tell them we can get to know each other as we getting to know each other, as we fuck.
So.
Because I have no plans to fuck you and then leave you and go on.
Brian, doesn't that create a catch-22 for you?
What do you mean?
Well, because you're like, well, wait a second. If you've had a one-night stand, that somewhat disqualifies you because you're not willing to have the one-night stand with me, right?
Well, I don't want a one-night stand, though.
No, I understand you don't want it. But what triggers you about it, or what gets you tilted about it, or whatever kind of language you want, is that they'd be willing to do that with somebody, but not you. Like, that's what the flag itself is, right?
Yeah.
I suppose that's a component of it, yeah. What's the catch-22, though?
Well, because then this means that even if this woman was trying to achieve virtue, or changed her mind, or had made a mistake, or had regrets about doing this thing, that by telling you that she wanted to pursue virtue, wouldn't you be potentially removing virtuous women from your pool by kind of rejecting them outright, because this is not behavior they would do with you, but that is behavior that you would prefer a woman did do with men?
Interesting.
Yeah, good point, Andrew.
It's a fair point. Although, I mean, you've actually used this argument before, Andrew, is the Great Hoe Reformation, and so. Is it actually virtue? Are they actually virtuous? Have they actually?
Yeah, I think that gets to the heart of the contention. So I'd like to, from the argument from your side. So every side has an argument, right? So the argument from your side, I think that this is a compelling one against you, but I think the compelling argument for you is that, well, if a woman is only doing this for the purposes of impressing men, then she's faking virtue. Mm-hmm. That would be faking virtue, right? So that would be the big contention, I think, from your end of the argument. And I don't have an argument against that, by the way. I think that it kind of railroads right there, and I don't know where to go with it.
Because you can never really tell.
Yeah, how would you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, right? So how would you ever know the difference if they're doing it because they're faking virtue or they're doing it because they genuinely wanted to be virtuous? How could you actually tell the difference? And so I don't actually have an answer to this. I call it the Brian conundrum, right? Or the Brian paradox or whatever you want to say, right? I don't have an answer for this.
Okay, so let me add a caveat. Brian. Let's take your example. Let's say she does have a history of being promiscuous, but she's been celibate for, say, the past 2 years, and then you come across her, and she said, well, I've been celibate the past 2 years. Yeah, I've had one-night stands in the past, but for the past 2 years, I've been celibate, and I would like to keep it that way, and I would like us to get to know each other. Would that pivot your perspective?
I think that's there's obviously nuance to these sorts of conversations. So I think yes, it would, so long as it was genuine. I'm assuming it is. Yeah, I think it would depend how long she wanted to wait. Then though. Okay. You want to wait 3 months? Still not interested.
Oh, like until marriage,
you want to wait,
right?
You want to wait? Oh no, well that's not. Yeah, 3 dates. I'll give it 3 dates. Okay, all right. Three. You want to wait? I think
you have said in the past that if a woman was pursuing her religious values and seemed to be adamant towards those, that you would take that into consideration versus a secularist, right? Mm-hmm. That makes sense to me, right? Maybe that's a sign then that you're not faking virtue.
Yeah. I think kind of the issue here is in these sorts of situations is one, the recency with which they were engaged in a casual hookup. So I just would not. It would be very difficult for me to take it seriously. For example, if a woman like 2 weeks prior had a one-night stand.
And then found
she's
Jesus.
Well, or not even. Well, a lot of these, even secular atheist women who are not religious at all, will do this whole. They're not even. It's not even in pursuit of any sort of religious for any religious reasons. They'll just, I want to wait to have sex. I don't want to do that. Blah blah blah. Hey, that's fine. Whatever. So I don't think it's solely religious women who will do this. It's also secular atheist women. I guess so. My contention is one, the recency. So if they did it 2 weeks ago, but now you want to wait 3 months, but the 2 weeks ago you fucked a guy within 30 minutes of meeting him. I'm like, okay, lady. And then the other thing some women will do, and then Austin, you'll pull up that first one here in a sec, is they'll be making a guy wait, and also fucking a dude while making the guy who they have their eye on for a long-term relationship. They'll make him wait. Anybody here done that shit? Anybody? Come on, be honest. You guys all done that shit.
One at a time.
Okay, just to be clear. So no girl here has been hooking up with the guy casually, and then you also, while hooking up with that guy casually, went on a date with a guy who you potentially saw as a long-term partner. Really? None of y'all been hooking up with a guy, and it was casual. It was kind of whatever, not monogamous, not non-exclusive. None of you here, while fucking him, went on a date with the guy. Really?
I would do the opposite.
You did
actually.
it? Yeah, there you go. See, there you go. You did it.
I would do the
you
opposite.
did it.
I would do the opposite. I would actually.
What's the opposite?
So I would have the relationships with someone with whom I actually saw the long-term
You'd have sex with
potential, but I would not have sex with someone whom I'm casually seeing at all.
Then wait, why would you even bother casually seeing them?
Because
aren't
they're
you in an
interesting
open
people.
relationship?
It's not really open relationship. Again, we are kind of.
Oh my god.
Back underscore to underscore the underscore roots donated $1,000.
All right,
Pop
some champagne.
Let's go.
Great panel. Don't be shy to speak up, girls.
Don't be shy to speak up, girls. Yeah, it's been a bit of a boys convo the past 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's.
I agree with everything you guys said, though.
Okay. Yo, back to the roots. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Do we have cups? Maddie, I'll have you pour.
Let's go.
I feel like in order for those two scenarios to happen,
The what?
you need to have a guy actually
I can do it.
taking you on a date
All right, everyone, get
and taking you
cups.
serious.
Wait, hold on. We need to.
Oh, you don't want me to?
Yeah, I'm gonna pour.
Oh yeah, bring the cups down.
Oh yeah, my fault. Pass them around.
Wait,
So Alex can have one.
Yeah.
Emma can have one.
Wait, before we pour, do you want some champagne?
Oh, no, thank you.
Do you want champagne? Do you want champagne? And then Turkish?
No, me. Mm-mm.
Q?
Yeah.
So that's 3. 4 cups. Okay.
What about me?
Andrew,
Why are you asking?
Andrew,
What
get your
about me?
vodka.
It's coming. It's
Oh,
coming.
sorry. Yeah.
Oh, you
yeah.
have to be 21. Oh, what about
Yeah,
that?
Maddie and Savannah can't have it.
Oh, that's unlucky. No. Yeah, don't worry.
Do you want some champagne?
Yes, please.
Okay. Wait. So
5.
5. Yes, 5.
You can't have none. Ha 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 ha. No.
Back to the roots. Thank you. Thank you, sir. You are. Hold on. Let me play that.
He's a brave and a decent man. He's a pioneer.
By the way, guys, go subscribe to his channel.
Go favorites.
All right. I'll let Maddie pour this. Sorry for the interruption here, guys. Just had to get that popped. Q, you want to just pour for us?
Yeah, I got you.
Why don't you
Let's do the reacts really quick.
I'm having you pour.
Here, just if you guys can be quiet. Can I have you read this?
All of it?
Yeah, start with the title up there.
Okay. R2X chromosomes.
Oh, you can, skip that part.
Okay. I'm unsure if I should tell my boyfriend this information. I've recently gone official with a man I've been dating for a couple of months. He's kind, respectful, and considerate. I really think he could be the one, but something is eating at me. I wanted to build slowly with this man so we didn't become intimate until after going exclusive. But between the first date and that point, I did see an old
Friends with benefits.
Oh, friends with benefit a couple of times. Back then, I didn't think anything of it as I wasn't exclusive, but underestimated how much I would care for my boyfriend and feel almost like I've cheated on him. Have I done something wrong? Do I need to tell him? Will he end things with me? Update. There was mixed reactions here, but my gut told me I should tell my boyfriend. He said, sorry, I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who does that. Then he blocked me.
Good for him.
Before we do the cheers really quick, so your reaction to that story? Okay, so look, recap here. She was dating a guy. They were waiting to have sex until they were exclusive. From the first date to when they became exclusive, she was withholding sex. But during that time, she was hooking up with, having sex with a friends with benefits, a different guy. During the entire time, she really liked him. She wanted it to be boyfriend, girlfriend, long term. She asks Reddit if she should tell him because I guess it was eating away at her. She tells him, he's like, whoa, what the fuck, and breaks up with her. One, valid reason to break up with her, and then 2, do you think that's kind of shifty to be like, well, I'm going to withhold sex from you while I'm pursuing a long-term relationship with you, all the while fucking this guy who's not exclusive with me?
I think it's good that she left him. Or he left her.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Okay.
I'm really happy that she was honest with him. I don't think she really cared about him. She just wanted to string him along.
Mm-hmm.
1, she shouldn't have done it. 2, I'm glad she told him. 3, I'm glad he left her.
All right.
I think it's valid.
Valid? Okay.
Valid.
Yeah, it's absolutely valid. I mean, it's like, why would you sleep with somebody while you're actually interested in an exclusive relationship? Like, I don't know, it just does not make sense.
Sure. We'll follow up on that conversation here in just a sec, but we have to do a cheers to Back to the Roots. Here's to Back to the Roots. Salut.
Salut.
Oh,
Na zdrowie.
drinking from the bottle?
empty.
Oh, she's okay. All right.
I thought about it this time. I did last time.
We have a couple chats I just want to read too really quick, so I'll have you read them, okay?
You want me to read them?
Yeah, if you can. Thank you, Chad.
Camo Sweater Girl, number 4, talks fighting a lot. You jujitsu, LOL. Also, Brian, for the relationship status question at opening, anyone ever said...
Sex cult or harem. Thank you, Chad Lord, for the message. I think somebody has said they've been in a sex cult, but no harem. So thank you, Chad Lord. Appreciate it. And then we have 2 more. We have this one.
2 cars that you really like. They're the same kind of car, same price, 100K. First car has 0 miles, never been used. Second car is used and abused, 200K miles. And many men have done. What car do you pick?
Hold on.
Why would they be the
Which
same
one do you pick?
price?
Same kind of car, same price, 100K.
I think Shannon like.
Did I read that wrong?
I think one was 100K and the other was 200.
Here, can you read it one more time just for
Yeah,
the girls?
sorry.
It's all good.
2 cars that you really like.
Oh.
They are the same kind of car and same price. 100K. First car has 0 miles, never been used. Second car is used and abused, 200K miles, and many men have drove. What car do you pick?
Okay, so do you, car 1, 0 miles. Car 2, 200,000 miles. Which do you pick?
Car 1.
Car 1. Car 1.
Car 1.
1.
So I would choose 2 because it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that it's at 0 miles. Okay, specifically with the car-wise, because there are some cars that you kind of have to drive for a prolonged period of time.
Okay. It's got 25 miles on it. 25.
Let's do it at like 1,000 miles, and then I'll take car 1.
Car 1. The button comment.
Okay. All right.
If we're talking about cars specifically.
Okay, all right.
I feel like they're trying to relate that to like.
Yeah, no, I
Trying to
know
relate
they
that to
are. Then that's a different question.
Can you
but-
read this one?
It's not that difficult to understand. A woman's timeline of giving it up is a spectrum. Some guy get it earlier and some guys have to work for it. That's their discrimination and based
On aesthetics.
Yeah.
Clay, I think for the chat, you had something on that queue, or?
No, that's valid.
Take a sip.
That's valid. I agree with that statement.
Can I be honest? I think it's
And-
all about communication. I'm sorry to cut
Oh,
in.
no, you good. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Please continue.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, like, of course I say dating is unfair. So when I'm talking about women and I tell women that dating is unfair to them, I have to be reasonable and objective when it comes to men too. Some men have to work harder. Some men get it earlier. It's just the reality of dating. You just don't have it as well as some other men. We're not equal. Sexual competition is a thing. Men have to compete for women just like women have to compete for men, especially modern dating. Dating is a mess now. So, I mean, it's the repugnant reality of dating. What one guy can't get in a day, another guy can. It's just the reality of dating.
Would an easier way to say this, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this has always seemed like common sense to me, Q, and maybe I can ask the panel this too, but doesn't it seem like if you're an ugly dude, you should just pick an ugly woman, and then your chances greatly increase of getting the sex and everything else it is that you want, marriage, etc. Don't a lot of people just kind of hit out of their league?
Yeah, that's the problem. People be aiming for the fucking stars. I mean, if you're trying to date outside your league, especially physically, then you're not going to fare well. But there's a such thing as assortative mating, and we typically get into relationships with people that we're similar in attractiveness to, religiosity, political orientation, and intelligence. So if you're somebody who's not as attractive, but you're trying to date somebody more attractive than that person, if it's a woman and you're not as attractive as the guy that you're dating, he's going to fuck you, play you, leave you because you're not attractive enough for him to commit to. And if it's a woman, she's going to take advantage of you. She's going to extract the resources that she can out of you as much as you're willing to give, and you're not going to get it as soon as other guys get it, if you get it at all, if you even get it at all.
Yeah, but this brings up the Great Whatever Podcast conundrum, the Great Whatever Podcast question of our time. How do ugly men know what types of ugly women they should go for if all of the women on Whatever Podcast always say that they're 10s?
Oh my God.
Word.
We need to see the men that they've dated, actually. We need to see, because the men that they've actually dated will reveal their actual attractiveness level.
Okay, gotcha.
We have one more.
This is the WQ, the Whatever question, which is,
oh boy,
specifically, how do ugly men know how to date within their league if every woman who ever comes on the Whatever Podcast is a 10? This is the question of our time.
It is a conundrum.
Well, they shouldn't date a woman from the Whatever Podcast.
Didn't you say you were a 10, by the way?
No, I said I was a 9.
Oh, I'm sorry. If all of them on the Whatever Podcast are 8s, 9s, and 10s.
Well, I'm dating a 10, so.
Oh.
Isn't he like 20 years older than you are?
He is.
And disabled?
So he is not disabled, but he is very attractive, and he actually doesn't look old. He actually looks a little bit younger than you, to be fair. But I mean, to me, he is a 10. I was attracted to him from the very first, time I saw him. And I mean, he's dated a lot of celebrities in the past, and it's just, I don't know. To me, he's a 10.
Can I say a comment? Sorry.
Yeah, to you. Hang on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And
you,
to
you.
others.
Hang on, to you, he's a 10. Fine. I think that's fair. I think it's fair to say to me a person's a 10, to me a person's not a 10. That's totally fair, right? But objectively, when you look at like the universal style of standards that most people go for when you're kind of creating what is or is not good looking, right? And we all kind of pretend that doesn't exist, but it fucking exists, right? We know it exists. So where would he fall on that scale?
He would fall around 9. On the objective, what is society, considers to be absolutely drop dead gorgeous.
Okay.
You had something?
I just wanted to say, I think there's another way to look at it as well, because I think you're going based off looks. But I think for me, anyways, in my past relationships and anyone that I'm trying to pursue, it's all about like the connection. Like I think the whole stigma of trying to find someone in your basically your rating, like the leagues thing, like 10 stay with 10s and then 5 stay with 5s or whatever. I don't really look at people like, I don't look at someone and think, oh my God, like he's so attractive, definitely, like I need to get with him. It's more like, can I have a conversation with him? Can I actually sit down and like pick his brain, really understand what I'm saying? Because if I ask him a question, girl, I'm sorry, if I ask him a question if the sky's blue and he's like, oh yeah, like I'm just like,
like make it make sense, please.
Like he could be like, to the world, like Andrew said, like the norm of being the most attractive man in the world. But if I genuinely cannot conversate in an emotional connection way, then I'm like
unattracted.
Yep. Like to me, that's like I genuinely cannot be with someone. Like if there's a man that you guys deem to be of not as attractive as another man, but I can genuinely sit with him and chat with him and have a genuine conversation that's like deep and meaningful, and yeah. Like, I can't put them to ranking, or like, I don't believe that I believe some men should and can, I guess, shoot for the stars, but like, I don't mean it in the sense of it's just looks wise. Like, their personality needs to come from a good home, good heart. Like, and I'm not a 10. I think I'm a solid 5. Like, I don't think I'm that bad, but I don't think I'm anywhere close to fine as hell. But for me, anyways.
No, I completely agree. I think attractiveness, your personality and what you bring to the table in terms of can we talk at the table, that plays the biggest part. Because you can be a drop-dead gorgeous guy or a girl. Most of the time, if you're not stimulating mentally, or if you have a bad personality, like a male 10 by societal standards, if he's a 10, but he has nothing going on in his head, just not nice, not very intelligent, automatically it's like, oh, what a bore, what a waste of physical potential when there's nothing going on in your brain.
Yeah, it immediately goes down to like a 6'5" kind of level.
Definitely.
Can I be honest about something from my personal view? There's been guys who've been like super nerdy, because I'm also like that. I like to connect with them intellectually, and I just knew from the get-go, like, it's not going to go anywhere because there is no physical attraction from my standpoint. So I totally agree. It definitely subconsciously, it's one of the things I look at, like, okay, we're getting along, but I'm also attracted to you.
Oh no, looks are definitely important. I'm not saying looks are not important. Definitely you got to be attracted to them. But me personally, I get more attracted to someone. Like, for example, my man could be a 3 out of 10 or whatever. But I feel like the more I'm with him, I'm going to find him a 10 out of 10. I'm going to find him like straight 10 out of 10. Like, I'm just going to have that bias thing. The more that I'm with them, he will automatically become more attractive to me anyways.
Okay, well, let me ask you, have you ever dated what you think is a 3 out of 10? Physically, looks wise? Has any of your exes actually been a 3 out of 10?
I don't think that's nice, but I think they're okay.
You think they're okay?
They're okay, yeah. They
Okay.
were really nice and like funny. Like, see, my first ex was Egyptian and my second was Filipino. Like, I definitely don't have a type, I guess, necessarily. Like, if you just have like a good heart and you're funny, whatever, automatically you just become more attractive to me.
Well, how long did that take? Was that a process?
I get, but like the things that we were friends before we became anything.
Wait, if I can just jump in here. So Q wasn't asking about your type. Whether they were Egyptian or Filipino is kind of irrelevant. There are plenty of attractive Filipino and Egyptian men. So he's asking if those men were, or any of the men you've dated, were 3 out of 10s in their looks.
I don't think so.
So they were more attractive than that.
Possibly, yeah. But other people would say no, though. That's the thing. And I don't know if it's a bias because they're my friend or if they're generally unattractive. Do you know
so
what I mean?
a 10 would say that he's unattractive, which
No,
is normal.
definitely not. A 10 would not say that they're attractive. But
No,
like,
that they're unattractive. A 10 would obviously say like, oh yeah, he's unattractive because she's a 10. So she's not going to look at that guy and be interested in him at all.
yeah.
So you are not going to look at a guy, even as, interesting as he is, he's still like ugly.
And I'm glad you said that, because that's essentially what it boils down to. You have to be physically attractive enough to get your foot in the door to where she even wants to know what your mentality and your personality is. And that's actually I've actually done several research studies on physical attractiveness versus personality with women, ranking, personality versus physical attractiveness and everything. And all the studies reveal that when it comes down to it, physical attractiveness is actually number one. You have to be physically attractive enough for a woman to even want to know if you're intelligent enough, if you can hold a conversation, if you're funny. Now, of course, women's attraction is contextual and it's more nuanced than male attraction because men are more visually stimulated by a woman's physical appearance. But in essence, you still have to be physically attractive as a guy for her to even take that interest in you, and that's across domains in most cases. It's ubiquitous. So
Yeah, but I'm not saying that he's ugly. I'm not saying.
Ubiquitous is a pretty big word, Q.
it just came out. I started getting into my college days. It just came out.
No, like, I definitely get what you're saying, and I agree with you. I'm not saying that they're ugly, and I would never say they're ugly. Like, obviously, attraction does play a big role in it, but like for both relationships, we both start as friends, but we're in the same group. Like, for me, attraction does take a big part in it. I can look at someone and say, oh, they are attractive. Definitely, I couldn't say, oh, like, I don't think this person would suit with me. But like, ultimately, genuinely, bottom of my heart, like, if I have someone who is genuinely kind, emotional, and everything like that, I'm more drawn to that.
Okay.
I'm more like both of them. I used to work with one of them. We were working together for like 6 months before anything happened. I'm not gonna be like, ew, you're ugly. I'm not gonna socialize with you. I'm a social butterfly. I want everyone to be included. I don't want anyone feeling left out. So automatically, I would talk to anyone, even if they're not a 10 out of 10. I would talk to every single person there.
But also, you also self-aware. You called yourself a 5. Do you think that plays a part in the fact that you're more lenient with male looks because you don't think you're a 10? See, if you thought you were a 10, you'd be looking at men a little different. You'd be like, no, he's too ugly for me because I think I'm this attractive. But the fact that you know that you're average gives you the leeway and gives them room for error to not be as attractive as they would initially need to be if you thought you were more attractive than what you think you are.
I get that. I get what you're saying. But I'm saying for me personally anyways. For me personally, but I get where you're coming from.
So like, why did you even bring an example that like if it's a 3, if you've never dated someone who you assume is a 3 or you think is a 3?
The 3?
Yeah, because like that was the example that you brought up. Like if they're a 3.
I'm saying if society views them as a 3, like.
Okay, but like.
I can't put a rank on someone.
Well, okay, that's fair. I mean, yeah.
Like I don't know why, but like me personally, I can't call someone like. I could say you're ill if you make my friends upset. I can be like, ew, babe. Like, oh, come on. But like, that's just coming from a friend. I know it's weird, but like, that's like a friend. Like, that's what I mean. I'm very like friendly. I'm very like comforting. Like, I would never want to say anything to rank anyone. That's why I think I'm average. Like, I would never want to come from a place to put a man to feel like, because I think males are so like this ego thing because of this dominance, because of the assertiveness, because of the way they kind of have to be. This is my opinion, by the way. This is not saying that everyone agrees with me. But I guess putting a man in a position where he doesn't have to feel like he has to be 1,000 times better than everyone else. I don't know. I just want chill dude. Whatever comes from it, comes from it. Like, that's why I just accept everyone for how they are. And that's just me. Maybe that's why I've been single for so long, but like, it's whatever. I'm not rushed to meet anyone who's a 10 out of 10, I guess.
I feel like 10 out of 10s usually have a little like cockiness problems and little attitude problems too.
But can you talk to them?
Just
like when they know they're fine.
Actually,
when they know they're fine.
We might as well ask this question since we're kind of on the topic. Ask everyone to rate their looks on this. Rabe Ruji says, Brixton, just say no. Wait, what?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Is that what
Here, we'll try it again. No.
No.
You're doing something and you say it.
No.
I'm watching you.
go no, whoa.
No.
Yeah, you have
There
to
we
open
go.
the
That's
mouth.
Open her mouth.
No,
right?
no.
Yeah,
All right.
You gotta open her
No,
mouth.
she's saying nar still.
No.
It's pretty
All right.
close.
Getting
Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right. Ask everyone to rate their looks on a scale of 1 to 10. You can't pick 7. Starting with you. Go ahead.
6.
We should have asked this before we got into the rating stuff, but
I'm like a strong 4.5.
Oh my God.
Like a 6.5.
6.
6.5.
9.
5.
thank you.
6.3.
I'll give myself a 5. Andrew.
I'm a 4 for sure, or less.
All
I
right.
think you're beautiful, Andrew.
Yo, Craze, thank you for the gifted 10 subs.
What's it?
On
It's like
Twitch.
I got the patronizing beautiful and everything. It's like that's like the head pat where they're like, no, come on, no. It's like, come on.
I think
come
everything's
on.
beautiful.
You know, you can make it a little bit less patronizing for me.
So do you think you're the most attractive girl here? Since you rated yourself the highest?
I think you're very, very gorgeous. I would
Thank you.
definitely rate you way higher.
Thank you.
And I'm not trying to compete just for my personal preference. I would date someone who looks like me, just off the looks alone.
Okay. All right. Okay, actually, Austin, let's do this. Pull up the True Rate Me guide for women. And I'm just curious if this would adjust your ranking at all for you. All right, so God tier, 10 is God tier. Basically, no one meets this standard. No examples because this level is unobtainable. Now, 9.5, that's the top 0.002%, 1 out of 50,000. That's ultra attractive, super top model tier. Now, you might shift.
The chart is bugged, boys.
It's a bit bugged. Granted, look, I would not rank some of these people where they're at. I might shift some up. I might shift some down. Okay. This was not made by me, okay?
That whole top row, all those women, they're hideous. What do you mean?
Well, not hideous, okay? They're not
None of them are
hideous.
good looking. Not a one of them.
Wait, hold on. Okay, good.
Wait. Kelly Gale is she's. I give her 8.
Wait, pull it back up.
I give Kelly Gale maybe an 8. Maybe.
Adriana Lima.
No, that's just an average looking broad.
All right, Andrew he has very high standards. We should have Andrew. Andrew, why don't you make one of these?
I think you should just reverse some of the rows. That's all.
Well, in any case, so I agree with you there that you could move some of these women up, move some of them down.
Yeah.
It's just sort of a general guide. I didn't make it. It's from this Reddit. So 9 is top 0.005%. 1 out of 20,000 people will be a 9. That's extremely attractive, top model tier. I don't even think though, like model women. I don't think like their faces are like the super.
The supermodels.
A lot of them have like the unique. They have got maybe a unique look. It doesn't always translate to like. Anyways,
so like up at the top there, you should take that Frida chick, move her down, and then move that Kelsey chick up.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
For sure.
So, okay, 8.5. Scroll down just a bit. 8.5, that's the top 0.03%. That's 1 out of 3,000. 8%, or 8 is top 0.134%. That's 1 out of a 750. Very attractive model tier. They got to redo this fucking chart, man. I don't know. It's a little
Emily's
scuffed.
down at 7.5.
It's bugged. This thing is bugged.
It's bugged,
what is it based on? I need to see what it's based on.
I don't know. It's bugged.
Somebody just made up a chart.
It's
Yeah,
bugged,
that's not changing my mind. I'm
Doesn't
sorry.
change. All right, I thought I'd show it. Really quick, just to kind of wrap up the conversation on the whole like waiting to hook up thing. There is one image, Austin, if you can pull that up. This is kind of like, that's like, you know what I mean? That's kind of like, okay, you're gonna be, do you want to be that guy in the suit? And here's the crazy thing. A girl will be like, yo, I want to wait 3 months before hooking up with you. And then as soon as you break up, The next boyfriend, he's not gonna have to wait. The next guy she fucks, boom, instant, son. I'm just saying, it's fucked up. It's fucked up, boys.
I think, Brian.
What's up?
I think you're a little traumatized.
Yeah, like personal.
Okay, bro. Look, I don't know if you're fucking bad in what's the fucking terminology?
What the fuck? Hang on. This is some Benedict Arnold shit going on right now. Some Benedict Arnold shit going on, Brian.
Who's that?
Q's Benedict Arnold.
Is that the
Benedict Arnold?
Is that the guy who turned on the U.S.?
Yeah, he turned on Washington. Yep.
Went to the British.
Joined the Redcoats.
The British.
Joined the Redcoats.
I got a tendency to psychoanalyze, so I'm wondering why Brian is so hyperfixated on.
It's Judas-like behavior. Is what I see.
Bro, so
Judas-like
what?
behavior.
So you're telling me, Q, you've never encountered a girl who's like, every single girl, isn't your body count? Well, I don't want to, okay, I'm not going to reveal anything. Every single girl you've dated, you fucked all of them right away.
Yeah.
First or second, every single one. There's never been a girl who was like, oh, no way.
I could probably tell you why she's like that.
Why, who?
Why the girl is making you wait. I feel like it's probably because every other guy before that has probably not taken her seriously, even when they did sleep with her. So she probably just got exhausted about it.
Sure.
And she's probably just trying to break the cycle. And it probably has nothing to do with you. Probably just the fact that every guy before that.
I told you that.
I completely agree.
I told you
Wait,
that.
that makes Brian's point. That makes Brian's point. That's faking virtue.
Is
That
it,
would-
or
but
is
it
it
faking
just-
But that's what I said
I don't think
earlier.
she's wrong. I don't think she's wrong.
I mean,
think
she's
she's
trying to protect
bad.
herself?
No, I
I do
said
too.
you perfect. You were well within your right to say, nah, fuck that. I'm not waiting.
Yeah.
But I said they be going on these little self-healing journeys, and they're
No,
tired of.
I
they're
don't think
tired of-
self-healing. I think it's just trying to protect herself from another asshole.
It's a lot of self-healing
she's
journeys
trying
too.
to heal.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a self-healing journey.
Yeah,
It's
so
really-
hang
it's that
on.
bullshit.
So it's fake. That would be faking virtue.
Yeah.
So that moves right into this idea. So the idea here is just, hey, I'm not going to do this because I think it'll give me a different outcome, not because I'm going to do this for some type of higher reason or because I don't want to sleep with this guy. It's just like I'm going to try something different because it'll give me a different outcome. So now I'm not going to sleep. That I think is faking virtue.
But like,
That's what that is.
How is it faking though if that's how she feels?
I think virtue is that's kind of a loaded word, and like it's. I think there's like cleared. I think there's a little bit of confusion in a way. Like I think a woman could see a cycle in her past of, okay, I keep sleeping with these men and I'm not getting the outcome that I want. So here comes along this guy. Let me switch up my pattern because I want a different outcome, not because all of a sudden homegirl picked up a Bible and decided she wants to be the next Mary.
But we would agree, right? And so I agree. So let me kind of give you an olive branch. I agree that virtue can be a very loaded word. I don't think, though, that you and I are speaking past each other when we use the word. I think we would probably use it kind of the same way. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think we would. In this case, though, with Brian, this is actually making his point either way. So if you say she's just doing this because she's working on herself for a different outcome, he's like, well, what the fuck? I'm the guy who gets screwed over here, right? I'm the guy who gets left behind. So that would make his point. Or the alternative to this is I'm doing this because I want you to think differently of me, even though I want to do this, and that would be faking virtue. So like I said, it's like a double-edged sword. This question. That's why I don't have a great answer for it.
Well, I don't think anyone's disagreeing with Brian's view, right? Yeah.
I'd be so annoyed if I were a guy and she wasn't putting out.
Yeah, right. But it's like at the same time, so for you, the faking part would be just because like she wants to do it, but she doesn't because of her own personal reasons.
What
Is that
about like
correct?
self-control?
No, that wouldn't be the faking. That wouldn't be the faking virtue
Okay,
scenario.
yeah, okay.
That would be the Brian just feels like he's getting fucked over because why me?
Right.
Why do I happen to be the guy you start this with?
Right.
So that wouldn't be the faking virtue part.
Okay.
The faking virtue part would be if you were like, okay, I have changed my moral system, and that's why I'm not doing this, right? With you. So and they're only really faking the moral system part because they want the guy to think differently of them.
So
that's the double-edged question here.
So they're only changing their views for that one person, but not for everybody else. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, they're just basing it on how they're perceived. So I'm changing this behavior because this guy or these groups of guys or whatever will perceive me differently. That would be the faking virtue.
Yeah, so it's like it's
On
not
the
a
other end of
genuine.
it, the other end of it, from the secular end of it, let's say, the idea would just be, well, that's fucked up. How come I get the short end of the stick and John over there, right? He got the all-you-could-eat buffet night one. Why do I have to get the crumbs from Longshank's table, right? When I want the whole country, right? That would be the basic kind of objection here, right?
And let me just respond to Brian because Brian my homie. But I was just curious. Like
That's a very smooth transition from the Benedict Arnold I saw just mere minutes ago.
It was an honest inquiry. It was an honest inquiry, Andrew. But I'm just saying, You asked, like, surely I've dated women who probably done that. All the women that I've taken serious, like the last 3 women that I dated had a combined body count of 3. My last 2 girlfriends were virgins. So I like the innocent type of women. My body count didn't come from me pursuing women. Women have thrown themselves at me. Remember, I made the Shade Room. I was one of the zaddies. I had over 5,000 women in my DM. Women like, oh my God, da 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 da. I'm not the guy to always say no. You know, I take them up on an offer sometimes. They've driven themselves out. They've flown themselves out. I didn't pay for anything. So that's typically where it comes from. But the women I approach, I typically, it's the innocent type, the wholesome type, the girl who's sitting in the corner reading a book. She doesn't party. She doesn't club. I like those women.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I agree with you in terms of my, interest in women. I prefer those kinds of women. But I've also, and also I'm pretty open about this. Have I encountered this in my own dating life? Absolutely. I've encountered women who, I don't know how many times, bro.
Just
enough, bro.
bullshit.
Enough. It's.
Just
I mean, dude,
bullshit.
it's just like. I mean, maybe you haven't had that happen, but you've dated a girl where it's like,
bro,
this
you
is
can
some
go see me
bullshit.
on the Shade Room. You can literally go look me up on the Shade Room. I'm still up there. 50,000 likes.
No, but but I mean, you've encountered some girl that's like, this is some fucking, like, you're dealing with some bullshit scenario with a girl.
Yeah.
And so I've encountered it, I don't know, a handful of times, right? And I mean, you said, well, these girls will fly out, but I've had that too, right? But I remember when I was on the dating apps, and I might encounter this, or I remember even a girl who, I had a girl,
fuck me, man.
She drove, slid into my DMs, came here, drove 2 hours from LA to come see me. And she told me, oh yeah, I've had hookups, blah, 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 whatever.
So did they do that and still try to make you wait? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, this girl who drove 2 hours to come and see me, slid into my DMs, wasn't religious, didn't seem to have any, there was no religious component there. She was like, well, she admitted to having had several one-night stands. And then she said, well, now that I'm a bit older, I want to wait until I'm in love. I'm like, bro.
Okay, yeah.
I ain't waiting.
No,
how long is it going to take for you to fucking fall? Like 6 months?
Yeah.
I'm not waiting 6 months, bro.
No,
what the fuck?
So you don't think that, like, the whole aspect of being older and just being more mature and kind of figuring out what they want plays any component to it?
What do you mean? More mature?
Well, you said, like, she's older, so it's like, I just more mature, like, in a way that now there's a different kind of
well, this is one of the big criticisms is, so a lot of guys, not all men, some guys are fine when they're in their younger years. A lot of guys will struggle with dating in their late teens, 20s, up to mid 20s, late 20s even, and they'll get curved by these women when they're younger, while these women are chasing around like the really hot dudes, whatever, fucking them in their 20s, and then these women will be like, okay, I want to settle down with a nice guy provider dude. And so what ends up happening is, like, a lot of guys will see that and be like, hold on. So you spent your 20s, arguably your best years, when you're most attractive, when you have the least baggage, the least trauma, the most feminine. You spent all that time having casual sex. Now you're 30, clock is ticking. You see me as a
retirement plan.
Fucking
retirement plan.
You see me as a nice guy, safe guy. You got me fucked up. Back to the streets you go.
That goes both ways.
How does it go both ways?
Because men also be going all around town.
Well, here's the difference though, is that every single woman has access to hookup culture. Not all of them engage in the hookup culture, but far more women engage in hookup culture than do men. So what you end up happening is you have these hyper attractive men that'll fuck like 200 women, and then you'll have like a large portion of women who'll have like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 body counts, perhaps not quite as high as these men who are just basically taking the lion's share of the women. And this is throughout high school, college, etc. And so far more women will have access to this hookup culture. So if 50% of women are engaging in hookup culture with 10% of the men, who's to blame really?
Both wouldn't be.
Right, but there's
more,
hold on, yes, but there's more women to be blamed. Does that make sense?
Well, what if the woman's just looking for a relationship, though, and all these guys are just like not taking her serious right now in her 20s? So she just has to keep going guy after guy because nobody's going to take her seriously.
Let me ask you a question.
Guys aren't interested.
Wait, hold on. Because she's picking men. One, all you women, you pick the men that you're with, one. And then secondly, you tend to have very terrible appraisals of one. We already talked about this rating thing, although we should have asked it before anyway. A lot of women have really terrible appraisals of their own attractiveness and then the men that they can get in a relationship. So there's this differential whereby a guy will sleep with a girl he would never consider being in a relationship with just based off of her looks. So she could be like unattractive, but he'll still sleep with her. He'll keep her around for casual sex. Women typically don't do that. And so what ends up happening is you women have sexual access to men who are above what you can reasonably expect to lock down for long-term commitment. So you women can sleep outside of your league, whether that's status, whether that's money, whether that's looks, right? A 19-year-old woman who's just hot and attractive, who has 1,000 followers on Instagram, she can go fuck an NBA player, an NFL player. These are very high status men who make good money, who are typically very attractive. And so what ends up happening there is, whereas you think an average looking 19-year-old guy can fuck out of his league? No, he can't. So there's this sort of differential that's happening. So like I said, essentially you have 10% of men who are just crushing it. The rest of the men get scraps or get nothing. And then you got like 50% of the women who are engaging in this sort of hookup culture.
I feel like those 10% of men, yeah, they might not be able to like hook up with just anybody, but they have a really good chance at wifing a girl, because not all girls go for guys that like look better.
Like, no, the 10% of men are the hyper attractive men that like the vast majority of women.
The other ones.
The vast majority, so the 90% of men?
Yeah. You know how many ugly guys are with pretty girls?
She's an idiot.
This goes back to women.
Not many.
This actually goes back to women, one, being terrible appraisal, or making terrible appraisals of their own physical attractiveness, and making terrible appraisal of what they think their equivalent is in terms of a partner. And this can be looks, it could be other things, but if you look at, there's this really great, Austin, if you can pull it up, this one of the dating sites called OkCupid. It's in the Dropbox podcast infographics folder. Let me see where it is. It's called the OKC. And so, if you can pull that up quick.
What was that?
That's me.
Was you? Oh, was that you?
I think.
What?
No.
I didn't. Infographics? Do you have it? Okay. So essentially what this graph is going to show is that men tend to rate women pretty reasonably, bell curve, whereas women are very, very harsh judges of male attractiveness. Do you have it?
Yeah, the majority of, yeah.
Okay, so hold on, I'll say it again. So just Dropbox folder, podcast folder, infographics folder.
Yeah, the data's skewed to the left, I think.
And what's the follow? Okay, see?
I just have a quick question. Like, does the way that the men actually present themselves and like their assertiveness, just because like with your case, for example, like they didn't go, they didn't like try, they were more introverted. Does that play any role in their like attractiveness and why they're not getting the women?
That's the strongest predictor.
Hold on, sorry. Can you drag it? That's what you should do. You should drag it. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, she said, does extroversion play a role? A man actually approaching a woman and being assertive, and that is the number one predictor of a man's ability to get women. You have to approach women. Most men, the men that don't get women, they don't even approach women. That's what I said earlier. I said a lot of guys are scared to even approach women. So the more women you approach, the more women you're probably going to get.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
okay, that's what I thought.
But most men also don't want to play Russian roulette with their self-esteem too.
That's true.
Like most men do not have the corresponding conversational skills or charisma.
So you don't think that's on men, that's the reason why they're not getting women?
Women don't have it either.
But they don't have what?
Most women. Well, here it's not a fair comparison because
we go off their looks.
But if a girl approaches a man, their level of success is just automatically going to be orders of magnitude greater than a man to begin with. So, and also men are typically not going to be, like, most men don't get approached. So if a woman does approach a man, even if she's unattractive, he'll take it, he'll be very polite about it. Whereas most women are typically going to, like, if they're not attracted to a guy, immediate, like, creep fear response. And like, it's going to, not only is it going to, like, if there's other people around, like, that's not a good thing. Let's pull it up really quick.
But don't you think that women, Brian, if they want to be approached, tend to put themselves in a situation with a guy where they will be? So yeah, like, I agree that most of the time women won't approach men for a date. But my kind of disagreement on this comes up when I look at dating dynamics. Women, if they want a guy and a guy's not approaching them, they seem to present themselves in such a way where they make it very well known that they would like him to.
Well, what is the context in which they are doing this?
So it could be things like they just talk to him a lot more in a social setting than the other guys. They're a bit more flirtatious, things like this. Yep. They're not just like coldly walking over and approaching and saying, "Hey, hot guy, you want to go out to the moon?" Right? They don't do that, but it does seem like they put themselves in situations where they're around this particular individual much more to kind of signal to him that I want you to ask for more. Right?
For example, the last girl, remember the girl that I was involved with all basically last year when I came on the show and I was like, I was talking to her. The way that we started was when I was working at our university rec center as a student, she would run the track every day. And one day she ran by me and I turned around and looked at her, and when she looked at me, she gave me a little eye roll and smirk like, yes, like that. And I said, yo, come here, like that. And she got up and came to me. We started having a conversation, and then one thing led to another, and we just started dating. But had she never did that, I would have never known that she was interested. I knew she was interested.
Well, they tell their, I mean, at least when I was younger, like they tell their friends, right? And then their friends would, it would somehow get back to you in the grapevine and shit. Like they have ways of letting you know that they're interested without ever telling you they're interested.
But I mean, so I think this would fall back to women's hypergamous nature. So they're going to do this for the top 10, maybe top 20% of men. That leaves 80% of men never receiving that sort of even covert sort of subtextual token initiative that women will display. So, I mean...
But then are they showing the interest in that case at all? Those 80% of men, are they showing that they're interested in any way?
Yeah, and they're getting rejected.
Okay, fair.
Let's pull up the chart, please. All right, so this is how men rate women on OkCupid. You see that's a pretty reasonable distribution from least attractive on the left, most attractive on the right, and then how women rate men. So women are very harsh judges of male attractiveness, which I think kind of goes to women being poor assessors of where they stand in the dating marketplace, which is typically why they end up chasing fuckboys who they don't get commitment from.
So what do we do about that?
What do you mean?
How do we fix that?
Well,
stop giving up the pussy.
Even if you don't.
Well, I mean, you're kind of fucked because you've already poisoned the well to some degree. Because once, for example, if you were rich and then you became poor and then your living conditions decreased substantially, do you think that would be hard to cope with? Like you lived in a really nice house and now you've got a roommate and you're living in the slums. Would that be hard to cope with?
I think it depends how mentally strong you are.
Well, so what ends up happening is because women end up having sexual access to men outside of their league, this will happen by, okay, you hook up with a professional athlete and you're a 19-year-old nobody college girl. You're going to start comparing the average 19-year-old college boys who are kind of within your league, who you probably should be dating. Yeah. You're going to be like, well, I've had access to this guy. He's this attractive. He's got this much money. He's got his own place. He's not living in a dorm room with 3 other dudes and we got to put a sock on the door. No, he's got his own place. Fantastic place. He's super attractive. He's super fit. He's got money. He pays for dates, all this stuff. Then you're going to go back to the guy who would actually give you long-term commitment and a relationship, and you're going to be like, damn, what the fuck? So you're going to have resentment for the guy who's actually in your league. So you guys are kind of fucked.
I mean, personally, I've never gone like outside of my league. Like I've never done.
You'd think that, but.
Well, what I'm saying is like athletes and all that. So I know like obviously that isn't. I know personally that's not realistic.
I'm not saying all women have dated professional athletes. I'm using it sort of as an example to articulate the point. They might not necessarily have status, but they could be exceptional in one way or another, whether it's their looks or their personality. And then you look at all the other men. Maybe it was a guy who was really good in bed, and then all the other men after that you're gonna be thinking about the guy who really had you wired and figured out, or you were able to hook up with a really attractive guy. All the guys who come after don't live up to how attractive he was, whether that's his personality, his looks, how good he was in bed, whatever.
But like, don't men do the same though? Like when they date a like super hot chick or like someone they truly love, like
No, because here's the thing, right? So while some men maybe rarely get lucky, again. If you're an average guy, if you step to a really hot girl and you make yourself sexually available to her, if you step outside of your league and you step to a girl who's 1, 2, 3, 4 points more attractive than you, and you're like, hi, I really like you. I would like to have sex with you. As men, we get rejected on the front end. We get rejected immediately. However, as a woman, if you step to a guy who's more attractive than you, whether you know it or not, and you make yourself sexually available to him, you don't get an instant rejection. You get I will gladly have sex with you. I will never, but you, whether he tells you this or not, you will never get commitment from him. You might have sex with him once. You might have sex with him multiple times. He might even keep you, he might even string you along for weeks or months or longer. And he's using you for sex. But just on the basis of your looks alone, he's disqualified you from a long-term relationship with him. But he enjoys the easy access to sex. And so, no, it's totally different. Because as a woman, if you're unattractive, if you're pleasant and you make yourself sexually available to a guy who's more attractive than you, he'll take you up on it. But you'll never get the ring, you'll never get the relationship.
Weren't you just saying, though, that you don't like when girls don't put out on the first, second, or third date, though?
What? I'm not sure how that has, what that has to do with anything.
Well, in the position, the kind of the caveat here, he's not saying whether or not he likes it if a woman puts out on the first, second, or third date, but rather that if a woman puts out on the first, second, or third date with other men and then says, you must wait, that's where he has the problem, right?
I see.
Okay, so I don't disagree with you at all. I actually do agree with your position. But it's like, for example, like I've heard like on TikTok from a lot of women that they say that once a man, you know, who's like average, let's say, and he gets a girl who is, you know, above him, and it doesn't, and during that relationship, his like view of himself raises, so they often end up cheating, and they kind of, because they think that, oh, I can get this girl who is way hotter than me, so that means I can get others. So I've heard that
like
view.
The,
so like
the Billie Eilish quote, like you give an ugly man a chance, and he thinks, I don't know what the fuck she.
Is that what you're talking about? Like, don't fuck an ugly guy, because then like it goes.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. But it's like how you pointed out. That's like once a woman like gets to, you know, a man who is like above her, and then she kind of raises her. She raises her standards. So it's like she doesn't give other men a chance. So I'm kind of like talking in that kind of similar scenario where a man gets with a hotter woman and then they think of themselves as way more important because they can get it.
So there's two things. One, he's probably bringing something else to the table, whether that, I mean, all the women here say, I think you were saying, well, if he can be really hot, but if he's not bringing stimulating conversation or intellectual, then whatever. So men can attract women in more ways than just their looks. They can make up for it either with status. You know, you look at certain rappers or musicians, these men are not always particularly attractive, but there's no shortage of women who are ready to date them or have sex with them. So there's status, there's money, and then there's personality. Some men have very endearing and charming and or riz or whatever you want to call it, personalities, and they can get women this way. However, though, the second component here is that while I'll grant that there are ugly men that can get with more attractive women, this is absolutely dwarfed by the amount of women who are sleeping with men outside of their league.
Yes,
so sure, yes, there's ugly men who got a better looking woman. But it's not as common. It's not nearly as common as the reverse.
I'm not saying that it's common. I'm just like asking, like, how does that correlate? Like, in your opinion, like, because, you know, that's fine because you did answer my question. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for you in a way. Like, I think that's so subjective too, because sometimes there are guys that are dating or seeing women that are substantially or just more attracted to them, and they're just grateful in a way, just very loving and adoring of their partner. Of like, yeah, you know what, she is out of my league. I'm not gonna cheat. I'm kind of self-aware. I'm a 5 and she's like a 10. Yeah. Why would I cheat? So I do think that there are definitely men that get women that are out of their league.
That's a real scientific
that get out of their league, and they're just like, I love you, and I'm not messing this up.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not disagreeing with you in any way. It's just about like the point of where like the women, once they get like a hot man, like they kind of tend to go after him like for the you know, they raise their standards after getting with them, which is what Brian mentioned, and I'm kind of like piggybacking on it, like on where you know, how, again, I've seen on TikTok, like, women talk about it, how their man, you know, like, did kind of a similar thing where they cheated on them because they thought that they could do better after getting. So it's like, that's just the only, like...
I definitely understand that side of it, too.
I'm not, like, arguing. I completely agree with the point. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Here, let's do. Can we go to Twitch really quick? You guys go to twitch.tv/whatever. Drop a follow and a Prime sub if you have one, guys. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link it to your Twitch. It's a quick, free, easy way to support the show every single month. Any Primes in the chat? I think it's bugged, boys. I don't know. Prime subs might be bugged. Can somebody test it out? And then, yeah, if you guys can, drop us a follow, mods, if you can spam it in the YouTube chat. So, guys, we're trying to get to 100,000 followers on Twitch before the end of the year. So, and then we also have a Discord, discord.gg/whatever. If you guys can join it, we post all kinds of cool stuff. We got the behind the scenes. We've got the wall of haters, the hate mail, the wall of haters. Some interesting stuff posted on there. So be sure to check out the Discord. We got a couple. We got a super here. Q, you want to read this one?
Yeah. Question to Q. You said the last 2 girlfriends you had were virgins, non-party girls. You slept with them. I'm just curious why you didn't marry them. Love the whatever podcast. I didn't marry them because I didn't want to. Relationship conflict. Conflict is a part of every relationship, and you can choose to deal with it or you can choose to leave. And in time, when you learn in each other, conflict arises. As a guy, I walk away. I don't put up with certain things. So I left.
Do you want to get married?
I'm not even sure at this point.
See, but you took that away from her for the next one.
Took what away from her?
Her virginity.
She gave it up.
Yeah, but like she was probably expecting for you to be the one.
No, she wasn't.
That's her fault. Taking and consensually giving.
I didn't take anything.
Yeah, but I didn't mean it like, yo, I took this from
into
you.
the mic, into the mic.
I didn't mean like, yeah, like I
your
took
mic
this
on.
from me. I mean like she was probably waiting for somebody. Was she
Wait,
not?
so are women owed marriage?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying that she probably was waiting for somebody special.
I'm always confused by this, though, if I can come to Q's defense a little bit. It's like, if a guy breaks up with a woman, he's like a terrible monster, and he should have stayed. Like, she was owed something. But like, if men start feeling like they're owed or entitled to relationships or sex with women, this is almost always like very frowned upon.
Yeah, I mean, because I said I left because there was conflict. So obviously she wasn't an angel. She takes accountability in that. And if I'm being honest, she actually is engaged currently, but I dated her back from 2013 to 2016. So now she's currently engaged. When she got engaged, she texted me and told me, thank you for teaching me how to love. Thank you for being a good representation. Good. Yeah, that's the message I received from her. Once she said, I'm engaged now.
Specific.
Yeah, for sure.
So just out of curiosity, like, did the age have something to do with it because they were virgins, or was it like just their?
No, they just happened to be virgins. Okay. They just happened to be virgins. I didn't date them because they were virgins. They just
I'm not saying, but it's like, were they like on the younger side and just didn't have a lot of experience? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like you were like kind of their first person whom they actually trusted enough.
Yeah, well my other ex, she was 22 and she was still a virgin.
That's pretty young, I'd say.
Yeah, so.
All right.
We have some chats too. Let me get this pulled up. One sec, guys. Got some chat. Yo, Horse, thank you for the gifted 10 subs, man. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. We have, can I have you read this chat? Go ahead.
You want me to?
Yeah.
Okay. My body count is 500 plus. He isn't taking her seriously. I've had sex with a woman within 30 minutes of talking to her. They aren't looking for a relationship. Stop the cap.
You fuck hoes. You fuck hoes. Like your body count is 500 plus. You clearly chasing a certain type of woman, my guy.
Well, Paladins, your thoughts? We have 3 more. Thank you, North Alberta Kid. Thank you for the Canadian 100.
For me to read it?
Yeah.
Brian, we all know if the other 90% of men could do it, they would. I'll tell you who's to blame. Whores, players, there are many more whores through objectively. The 90% come in here and bash women.
While I disagree with the word whores, I do feel like that's pretty like on point just in general.
North Alberta Kid, merci beaucoup for the Canadian 100, which is like what, $10 American? I think. Thank you. Captain Awesome, thank you.
Just like the car too, most women believe that they hold the same value as a woman with actual, what is that? Chastity and virtuous car 1. Why would a man, I did not read that fast enough, I'm sorry.
Would want a car 2 over 1.
I'll pull it back up.
Just like car 2, most women believe that they could hold the same value as a woman with the actual chastity and virtuous car 1. Why would a man want car 2 over car 1?
Fuck.
Okay, so I actually would like to answer that, just because there are some cars, like especially the more vintage cars, for example, they've been, around like for a while, and they would sit in the garage for, a few years. But it's like they have not put the test of actually like that they're reliable, that they wouldn't break. And there are a few cars, like for example, there's a Jaguars, like a few Jaguars, like where they're just not made to begin with reliable. So you would want a car with a few more miles on it. Just to make sure that it wouldn't just break apart, like 100, 200 miles in. However, which is why it's completely weird to compare cars to women, because cars are made by, all these different people, all these different components that are playing part to it, and women, they're human beings.
That's stupid.
He's clearly talking about women.
Well, yes, I know
Very
that.
clearly.
I know that he's clearly talking about women, which is why, like, I don't think that that's a that's
good
a fair
analogy?
comparison
You don't
at
think that's a
all.
good analogy?
Like in any way, just because again, cars are they're machines and they're made they're very technical, and women again it's a whole different aspect. Like you can't compare like an inanimate made object with a human being.
I think
That's
it's an
what I'm
interesting
saying.
comparison. I'm not gonna say that I like it, but I think it's very interesting because when it comes to relationships, like as a woman or a man, I think that as a woman going into a relationship, knowing who you are and who you are as a romantic partner, whether that be sexually, your communication styles, I think knowing those things are so important when seeing how compatible you can be with someone.
But what does that have to do with the car?
It doesn't have anything to do with the car, but we know the comparison that the person in the chat is making.
Yeah, obvious, but it's like
So like
again,
I think
like,
in a way
don't see how
I
that
think
has-
that's why
because the car
someone-
doesn't know itself.
I think that's why someone would pick car 2.
Or mileage.
Car,
The
with the
mileage
more
would
the
be
car with the more
knowing.
mileage
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
they know a bit about more themselves. And then when
And
you go
they're,
into
like,
a
more
relationship,
reliable.
it's kind of hard, in my opinion, when it's someone's first relationship.
I agree.
They lack that experience of communication, being with someone intellectually, sometimes physically.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing. Everything's new, and so I feel like relationships in a way are trial and error because it's very seldom that two people get together and it's their first relationship ever and they're together forever. When it does work like that, when there's high school sweethearts, that's fabulous. I'm so happy for them.
My
But
grandparents.
it's very rare.
But yeah, it's very rare.
Yeah, I completely agree
I
with
think, I think, Alex, that you're looking at this in the wrong way, right? The wrong dynamic. You're kind of taking it and viewing it through a feminine perspective, kind of over and over again, right? Oh, you can't compare women to cars. You can't. Okay, so take yourself out of that for a second. Put yourself in the male's perspective. So from the male perspective, shit works or it don't work. That's how we think of everything, right? Does this shit work? Yep, it works. Great. Right? That's how we think of everything. So how we think of step 2 is, when is this thing that works not going to work? Right? So that this would go to the car analogy, right? So if it's got 200,000 miles, we know it's not going to work at 400,000 miles, right? But we're taking the same mechanical brain and we're applying it to women, and we're like, okay, does this woman work if she has a lot more dick, or does she work if she has a lot less dick, right? Does it work for us or does it not work for us? Very simple, right? It actually is a fine comparison because the idea is just, does it work, does it not work? Is this going to work or is this not going to work?
So I do agree with you that I am looking at it like from a more kind of, as you said, the feminine perspective. That's like you can't compare a car to a woman. However, to be fair, the actual car thing and whether or not it would work, I did get from a man, and he would choose a car that has way more miles and that is proven to be reliable versus a car that has been sitting in the garage with 0 miles, because you can buy a car, especially from the comment where it
silly,
says
right?
100K,
hang on.
but it's like you wouldn't know if it
You
would
already
work.
messed it all up, Alex. You already messed it all up. Because you tried to kind of sneak in, you kind of try to sneak in a new premise, which is he would take the car that has a proven track record of at X amount of miles still being reliable, right? Okay, let's take that little sneaky part out of there. And we're just comparing 2 random cars to a man. And you tell the man, okay, you like both these cars, this one has 200,000 miles, this one has no miles, right? His mechanical brain's gonna say what? It's gonna say, okay, well, if this one has 200,000 miles on it, then I want the one that has less mileage because it's going to probably work for longer, right? You can give him no other information than just that.
Okay.
And that's likely what he's gonna say, right?
Okay, so I do feel like perhaps, but then again, you're very generalizing, because just like cars, relationships are very different and very person specific, because some people love brand new cars, but some people prefer vintage cars. So it's like, I don't know.
But
Like
okay,
I understand what you're saying,
cars.
but I don't see how it's
men would prefer
comparison.
vintage cars with less miles or more miles?
More miles, because again, it
No, they
proves
still want
reliability.
vintage. It would be, so the vintage car with less miles is going to be worth way more money and it's going to be way more reliable. What are you talking about?
Because okay, so if the vintage car has 0 miles on it, it has not
Then it's gonna
proven
be worth
that
a
it would
gazillion
work,
dollars?
and the actual parts like to replace it would be way more expensive than a car that has actually been proven that it is working. Like all the parts are going
Why
together.
would the parts be more expensive to replace on a low mileage vintage vehicle?
Okay, I did kind of misspoke a little bit. It's more it's more about like, because it has not actually been driven out, it has not actually been tried, there is a chance that it would break, especially since it has not been like running for a few years,
Yeah,
like
there'd be
it's
less
just been
chance.
sitting in the garage.
Yeah, there'd be less. Okay, but if it was a 200,000 or 300,000 mile vehicle and it was sitting in the garage for the same amount of time, it would have a worse chance
I
of
agree.
starting than the vehicle that had 50,000 miles on it. Like, what do you mean? This makes no sense.
So I actually agree, which is why I said like if it has like 1,000 miles, that would be a great indicator. And again, we're just talking about cars at this point. It's specifically the 0 miles vintage car that's been sitting in the garage
You mean
versus
the thing that every man who loved vintage cars would want more than anything else?
It would
the
depend.
car with
It would
0
depend
miles
on
on
what?
the original engine. Hang on the original engine, the original body, the original everything has 0 miles. that's the car they're going to take out knives and kill each other over, rather than let
Yes.
somebody buy it out from under them.
And then they would put it back in the garage and not do anything with it because it's a vintage car. However, the people who actually want to drive the
No, they're
car,
going to drive that shit. What do you mean? They're
No,
gonna,
because it could break.
You know why they want the vintage
Because
car?
they have no idea how it's going to
No,
work. It
they
has
want
no
the
reliability.
0-mile vintage car because they want to be the first person to press on that fucking gas
Yeah,
pedal
and
make
then
it
it's
go
going to break
vroom,
20
baby.
miles in.
Vroom, vroom, baby. I was the first one in this vintage car to make it go vroom.
Yeah, and then it's going to break 20 miles in. So it's like you don't know what a vintage car
Why the
is
fuck
going
would
to
it break 20 miles in?
Because a lot of vintage cars
What are
do
you talking
that.
about?
A
Why would
lot
it
of
break?
vintage cars do break very fast once they were sitting in the garage
they
for
break
20,
less fast
30
than
years.
vintage cars with higher miles on them, though. So I don't even understand
So
what your argument is here.
if they were sitting in the garage for a while, yes, all the cars would break. I'm just gonna say that. I agree with you on there. If the car was sitting in the garage, however, if the car was actually been driven throughout, those, 20, 30, like 200,000 miles, and it does not have any, like track record, and was actually checked properly this entire time, throughout all the years, then it has the reliability, points to it because it has not broken, and it means it was put together very well and in a craftsmanship way. However, there are some cars that were made in the past that just didn't have that point.
Are you smoking methamphetamine right now?
No.
Okay, this makes zero sense. I'm gonna
if you say
I'm going
so.
to reiterate back to what you just said. Classic car has the same engine, same body, same everything as
There's
the
no
other
such thing
classic
as the
car.
same when it's put together by different people.
My turn, Alex. Calm down. Has the same everything as the other car, except it has 0 miles. You're saying your argument here is, well, the one with 300,000 miles has been proven to have driven. Yeah, so what? The likelihood of the one with 0 miles being able to get a lot more life out of that car, it's like 1,000% better, right? It's like 1,000% better.
Okay,
everybody wants the classic car with 0 miles because they want to be the first person to put the very first mile on the car.
Are you a car guy?
You know why they want to do that? Hang on, my turn. Wait a second. You know why they want to do that? They want to do it just for the hell of it. They want to be like, I did it. I was the first. I put the first mile on this motherfucker. Nobody else put a mile on this car except this guy. They love that shit.
Just Gerald donated $200. Jesus. We'd rather be inside a car that's never been driven over a car that's driven by 30 people. Ergo, we'd rather be inside a woman who no one's been inside of than a woman who's had 30 men inside.
Okay, Andrew,
totally.
are you
I'm
a
never
car
taking
guy?
you to an auto auction. I'm never taking you to an auto auction. You'll be like, I want to pay $1 million for that car over there that has 300,000 miles on it because after all, it's proven that it drives down the road. Like, what the fuck kind of logic is this?
Do you go to a lot of vintage car shows?
Okay, hold on.
I think we're stippling away from the concept.
I completely agree, which is why
It's my
I don't
rant,
think
and I'll
that
take
it's
it where I want to take it.
okay,
Anyway,
which
go
is why
ahead.
I disagree that a car analogy and a woman analogy is it does not actually fit because there's different.
Do you know what an
aspects
analogy
to it.
is?
Well, if she has 0 miles on her, and then y'all will just complain that she's a pillow princess because she doesn't know what she's doing.
Oh boy.
You do, though, Alex, agree that a man, like men in general, they do want women who have less baggage.
I completely
less body
agree
count.
with
I
that.
kept thinking of Q and you're the first one to put those miles on those girls. You know what I mean?
And
so
I
I'm
completely
thinking
agree with
like,
that
okay,
concept.
what ended up happening though for that lady who you said she thanked you. I think we can all agree there are men out there who are going to accept that. Like, you know what?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she has some miles, but at the end of the day, the miles are on there doesn't mean it's a good car.
It doesn't mean it's a good car. However, again, do you go to a lot of the vintage car shows?
No.
Do you, Andrew, go to a lot of the vintage car shows?
Not a lot, but I've been to a
Okay,
couple.
see, I have been to a lot of vintage car
Did I
shows.
say that? What
Does that have to do?
Back what I said.
Which is why I think it's a
I don't
bad
go to a
analogy.
lot, but I've been to them.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine, and I've been to a lot of vintage car shows. So
This is the fucking
it's like,
retard.
I don't know.
Nobody at the vintage car shows you're going to is not competing over the lowest mile vintage cars. That's
Okay,
insane.
we're talking about 0 miles, and again,
Yeah,
I said a perfect mileage is
I
about
have an original
1,000 miles.
Roadrunner.
So
I have an original
don't agree
Roadrunner with 0 miles. Oh, I don't want that one, Paul. Said no fucking vintage car ever. Nobody's ever said that.
Yeah,
This is
because
what
it's
they
going to
imagine.
continue sitting in the garage. It's not going to be driven.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll drive it. They'll drive it just to put the first mile on it. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
That's
exactly,
every
just the
vintage,
first
that's every
mile.
vintage buyer's dream. It's like buying a vintage gun that's never been fired once. The first thing you're going to do is take that fucker out of the box and go shoot it. That's how it works.
So what you're saying is a vintage car, just like a virgin woman, let's say, you would just want to kind of have her, just like the car, sit in the garage and not really, go for a drive and be reliable.
Because you'd want to fuck her. That's what I'm saying. I think you'd want her because you'd want to take her for a spin. I think you'd want her because
that's
you'd want to
gonna
have
break
sex with her
200
a lot
miles
and
in.
not put her in the garage. That's what I think. But what do I know?
Okay.
You know, what do I know?
As long as someone buys a car, I think everyone can have different opinions, but I think like I feel like, are you talking about a physical car? Because I think we're talking about relationships and like
Yes, I know.
experience.
Which I agree on the relationship and the experience part, but it's like, again, I don't agree with the car part. I think
it was never about the car.
That's it.
It was never about the car.
I know it's not about the car, but I don't think it should be about the car at all.
Yeah,
but
I think
I
get
not. Yeah, no, I totally agree with
you
the
want a car.
relationship and the women part of it, and that women, and that man would want somebody with less, miles on it,
Andrew.
whatever. But the car thing just does not make sense to me.
Okay. Anyways, we're all gonna get a car one day or another. What's the next question?
Yes, they want him to go vroom. They want him to go vroom. They want the car to go vroom. They want the chick to go vroom. They want the gun to go vroom.
I'm sure you do.
That's what they want. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but that's what they all want.
Yeah, and any car would go
all
vroom,
right, all right. You've had, okay. All right, Crazy Ace, thank you for the gift of 10 subs. We have 2 chats we got to read. I'll have you read them for us. They're going to come up here in just a sec. Ace, thank you for the gift of 10 subs. Appreciate it. Oh, Andrew, you're lagging a little bit.
Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Men are less confident and will settle for less. I'm not 10, but I know now how much higher quality I could have gotten if confident. Women having high confidence impacts men's confidence.
Living, thank you very much, man. Oh, here, just hide that on center. I think did he end the call or is he?
Should I read
okay.
it?
Yeah, go ahead. Wait, just hold on. Just let it. No, go ahead.
They will all be whores for the right man. You said you had 5,000 women in your DMs. The difference is I say yes. You turn them down. The women are the same. I give them what they want.
Oh, hold on.
Devon Jackson donated $200. I would argue the only thing more sexual experience on a woman does is make her know what she wants the man to do for her in the bedroom. It doesn't make her more considerate of what a man needs.
That's a good point.
I think it's a good point, but I also think that more relationships, in a way, put sex aside. More relationships can help a woman know what she needs from a man and what a man might need.
My experience is definitely, I agree with you. My experience has definitely helped me be a better person for a man in the long run.
I know it works with men in general and what doesn't. Obviously, every man is specific and has specific needs, but as women, men, people, we all have basic needs when it comes to like the connection
But
aspect.
there's this video game term called diminishing returns. So, for example, in World of Warcraft, if you have like a snare, if there's a snare or like a root, you can't just constantly have somebody frozen in like an ice nova. Like eventually they're gonna, or you can't just keep stunning them. Like you can't stun lock somebody permanently. Like there's gonna be diminishing returns on stuns, snares, roots, all this stuff, right? Freeze. And so
you gotta compensate for cooldowns, AOCs, the whole 9.
All that stuff, area of effect, AOE, all that stuff, right? So there's diminishing returns in video games. So at what point with a woman do you start getting diminishing returns when it comes to her supposed, the more relationship or sexual experience she's had? At what point does it stop? I don't even know if perhaps there's some benefits, but I don't know. I think like as a guy, you could take a girl who's never been in a relationship or who's a virgin. You can have great sex with her if you know how to lead. You can have a great relationship with her if you know how to lead. Even if she's not had any experience, you say, well, I'll know what to do better. Or as the guy, I could just say, this is what I need you to do. And if you're submissive and you're willing to follow my lead, we'll have a good relationship.
Like a mold aspect, like being able to mold and tailor that person to you.
Yep. That's what happened with me and my baby daddy.
I
but it didn't
agree.
work out.
I agree. I think that there's definitely 2 sides to it of having a lot of relationship experience, because sometimes you can say you've had 10 relationships and they've all been over a year long and you learned them and whatnot, and then you go into a new one and then you try to put all these other relationship experiences onto them of, oh, well, this guy didn't like this, so I shouldn't do this, so and you're not listening to him or taking them into account. So I think molding in a way needs to happen to both people in every relationship for it to be successful.
I agree.
Q, do you want to respond to, I don't know if you want me to pull it back up?
You can pull it up. Q, they will all be whores for the right man. You said you had 5,000 women in your DMs. The difference is I say yes, you turn them down. The women are the same. Give them what they want. Nah, I got standards. I ain't gonna fuck every woman just because she in my DM. And I don't just be believing guys who say they fuck X amount of women on the internet either.
Well, Paladins, thank you. We have 2 super chats here. Can I have you read these 2? Thank you, the Gold Eagle 99. Thank you.
Well, Q, what conflicts are we talking about exactly? You do realize your contribute to the problem is doing that within the mating market in America. I'm not mad at you. You're a heterosexual guy.
Heterosexual.
Sorry.
That's a good, I like
but
that.
just own
Heterosexual.
it.
He has, that's going to be on his new Twitter bio.
Hatersexual. Wait, I'm going to change the title of the video to include hatersexual. Let's see. Q, do you want to respond to that?
I don't see the world through your perspective. If taking 2 girls' virginity contribute to the world's problems, dating market problems, you might need to be more concerned with what else is going on. I don't know how you came to that conclusion.
All right. And then can I have you read this one?
maybe this will make more sense to you. Platinum credit card, virgin woman with high body counts, 250 credit card. What? And women control access to sex. You are diminishing your value with each guy you've had sex with outside a marriage / long-term relationship.
So hang on. So let me phrase this out the way he means it.
Please.
If you had a credit card that had a $20,000 limit on it, would you prefer that it had $0 on it or $10,000 on it?
10,000.
You would prefer it had 10,000 on it.
Limit, yeah, a 10,000 limit.
No. It has a $20,000 limit.
Or
right?
a $20,000 limit.
Yeah, if it had a $20,000 limit, would you
I don't
prefer
want a car
that it had $0 put on the card or $10,000 already put on the card?
Well, of course, $0 put on the card.
Yeah, $0, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But again, that's a whole different comparison.
I like that.
Like, I don't know why we have to compare women to inanimate objects.
Oh, it's an analogy.
Well, we're not. Okay,
I know, I understand it's an analogy, but it's like, it just,
this is a very
it does not
feminine
make
way to
sense
look
to
at
me.
things, right? You're only looking at things through the prism of you, right? You're only looking through things through the prism of the woman. So, the whole purpose of this podcast is to show it from both angles, right? Here's how women tend to think about these things. Here's how men tend to think about these
Yeah,
things.
so you are sharing your opinion and I'm sharing mine, and then the viewers can make their own opinions based on the women's perspective and the men's perspective. Isn't that right?
Yeah, they can, absolutely. But what I'm saying is I try to put myself in the shoes, right, the opposite person's shoes, to see it from their perspective.
Do you?
Right. So yeah, I do it all the time. Why do you think that I logically beat the hell out of you all the time? It's because I put myself in your worldview.
So you bring up Santa Claus because you want to put. Okay.
Hang on, before you start spurging out, it's because I put myself in your worldview, and then I logically think it to the end and go, wow, that's really stupid. That's why I'm able to do that. So yes, I do think of it from your worldview, and I think of it from my worldview. So
Okay, if you say so.
yeah.
Because I have agreed with a lot of the male perspectives, quite a lot, and I have mentioned that. However, I have not seen you agreeing with the women's perspective once, so I'm just pointing that out. That's all I'm going to say.
What perspectives?
Any women's perspective. I've never seen you
On
agreeing with
which
any
thing?
women at all. You always
I
argue.
agree with them on all sorts of things.
Okay, like what? Because I've just not seen it.
Well, let me give you. I can give you multiple examples.
Please.
So one example is there's many women who come on here who are religious, especially some of the trad cath women. They have great takes, I think, when it comes to the dating market. I've talked to women on here who are mothers who I think had really good takes about how to rear children. There have been many women on here who have discussed the dangers of OnlyFans and sex work, prostitution, things like this, that I've been in mass agreement with, looking at it from their perspective and my perspective. In fact, I would say that I agree with somewhere around 60, 70% of the takes that women have. The things that go viral are the takes that I disagree with.
So I don't necessarily watch the viral stuff. I actually watch the podcasts and kind of go to where you're, specifically agreeing or disagreeing. And I personally just not necessarily seeing you agree with a lot of the women's perspective. However, everything that you've just mentioned, those are also your personal opinions
Here's an
as well.
example right now tonight. This gal, Maddie, I think it's Maddie, that's you in the red shirt?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have my notes here. Please forgive me.
No worries.
I try to write everybody's names down and make sure, right? So Maddie said, Andrew's using a loaded term. I have it right here in my notes. He's using virtue as a loaded term. Very first thing I said, I agreed with her and said, I agree with you that the term is loaded. Very first thing I said to her. Is that correct?
Leave it.
Okay, yeah, and
Yeah.
okay, so you've agreed that virtue is a loaded term, but then you still continue to use it. So, okay, I'm going to give you that.
No,
you do not disagree with
that's not what
everything.
happened. Not what happened. What happened was I said, I agree with you, it's a loaded term, but I think perhaps you and I are using it the same. But if not, let me give you a descriptor for
Yes,
what I mean.
I remember. I was here. But it's like,
Am I
again,
way off base here, Maddie?
Yeah, no, he is correct.
Yeah, no, I do agree, and I've agreed with the both of you too.
Okay.
Yeah.
He agreed.
Really? Because a second ago it was, I haven't seen you agree with a single thing a woman has said on this panel all night. And now suddenly it's, well, I agree
Okay,
with
well, you don't need to mock me.
He really is quite nice and agrees with everything they say. It's like, maybe we can get a good, clear answer out of you. And maybe you're just coping, right? Maybe you're just coping a little bit.
So the first thing Andrew agreed on was that we were using the term virtue is a loaded term.
Yes.
And then we both went into clarification mode and
Yep.
said what we meant between like faking virtue and then
Yep.
and
Yeah,
what
I
else
was a
not.
part of that.
Yeah, I know, I'm aware.
Yeah.
And so he agreed on multiple counts. Like, okay, and then you said that he agrees with like you said trad Catholic women, and then that you said that he shares those are opinions that he shares. Yeah, if he shares his opinions with those women, then of course he's going to agree.
Yeah, so, and that's kind of my point. I
just
will
don't get
take
how
back
that's
that
valid.
you completely disagree with every single woman. I will take that back, my apologies. However, you don't actually take any other person's perspectives and how they live their lives outside of your own personal opinions. And that's kind of is my overall point. So,
Okay, just me agreeing that there could be a term which is being used that is loaded, right, is me literally instantly giving an olive branch and saying, I understand your perspective here. Let's clarify it so that you understand what I'm saying and I understand what you're saying.
And that was excellent. That was very.
That's an idea. So this is the idea of common.
Nice
hang on a second. This is the idea of us finding common ground, so I can see the viewpoint. But me just having to agree or like kissing your ass on everything you say is insane, right?
You never.
If you say something stupid, I'm going to tell you it's stupid. But if you say something which I think is very sharp-witted, or something I agree with, I'll be the first one to say she's absolutely right, and here's why. What you're doing right now is what I like to call pure, unadulterated cope. It's pure cope. I gave you an example in real time. It was backed up by another woman on the panel, right? And you just lost the exchange, right? Just lost the exchange. Just take the L.
Okay, I'm sorry. Like, where did I disagree with the woman on the panel just now?
You literally got done saying you never agree with anything any of these women say, and then I gave you an example even up tonight in real time.
And I took that back and apologized.
By the way, I haven't even had an opportunity tonight to agree or disagree with very many women on the panel because you've been bogarting all the time, as usual.
Okay, well, I mean, maybe Brian shouldn't have asked me then to be here, so.
Okay, I'm just going to move on then. Just really quick, Dragon's Talon, I didn't get to thank you for your super chat. Dragon's Talon, thank you for the super chat, man. Really appreciate it. Haven't seen you in the chat for a while, man, so good to have you back. And thank you for I do believe we read this one, correct? Yeah. Thank you, Dragon's Talon. Appreciate it. If you guys want, get in a TTS, $200 TTS. Read is $100. All right, so let me get into a couple things here. I did have a quick question. I meant to ask this at the beginning of the show, just not dating related. I was just curious about it because I saw it. Would you save your family if it meant the rest of the world had to perish? So do you pick the world? So when I say that, everybody else dies, but your family is saved? Or do you save the world, but your family is dead? Which do you pick?
It's kind of hard because I don't talk to like half of my family, but then like my mom's side. So I think I'd stay with family.
You'd say family?
Yeah, family.
Okay.
I don't think just me and my family would know how to like continue life on Earth. You know, like, because if we're destroying everybody else, it's just me and my tribe. So I'd rather have the rest of the world live and continue.
And y'all wiped out? Okay.
Yeah. I love my family more than it'd be more than humanly possible, but I would pick save the world for sure.
By the way, when I say save the world, like the Earth, it's not like the Earth explodes. It's just everybody else dies.
Yeah. Well, I would say my family because honestly, if the rest of the world goes, like eventually life will come back.
I'd pick the world. I'd save the world.
I would also save the world. Like, it makes no sense for just one family to be on the entire planet.
Can I say the world, but can I be dead first? Please. I don't want to see my family. Like, I'm just thinking about it in a logical aspect of, like, you need the world, like, the economy and everything moves with other people. Like, I think it's selfish for me to want to pick my family. But I do think my family's life shouldn't be dependent on me. Anyways, I'm going to just,
Chat, what do you think? Q, what do you think?
Saving the world.
Anissa, what do you pick?
Probably the world.
Okay. I don't know. I would have to think about this because it's a bit of a moral dilemma.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer actually, but I want to think about it more. Andrew?
I think I would save my family.
Respect.
Yo, Crazy Ace, thanks for the gifted 10 subs.
And by the way, I also think that's the wrong answer. That's the immoral answer. I think the correct answer is that you would, save everybody else except you and your family. But if you're asking me to actually put myself in the situation, Andrew, what would you actually do? There's two buttons in front of you. One, everybody in your family is annihilated forever. Button two, the entire rest of the world is. You fuckers gotta go.
I actually respect you for acknowledging that. That's very, that's.
I think that's pretty close to my position, my position on this. Well put, Andrew. And let's see. Let's get to. Oh, I did want to go kind of back to everyone's relationship status really quick. Do you have or have you ever had a roster? Do you have a roster?
Right now?
Yeah.
No, maybe just like one person or two.
Currently?
Yeah, currently.
Yeah, because you said you've been single, right? But I mean, so you are.
I like to talk to people.
By talk, do you mean?
Well, one lives kind of far away.
Sex or what?
One lives far away.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
I met him one time.
Okay.
But can I hang on real quick? I'm sorry to cut in. I was just thinking about because you blindsided me with this question, right? But now I gotta dive just a little bit if you'll humor me just for a second. So I actually am not sure you can trust a man who doesn't say my family. Now that I think about it. Because it's the entire idea of, I think, how you would trust another man is that they put the virtue of their family before anything else, and that you as another man know that. And this is how we create barriers as men between each other, right? We don't cross certain thresholds which involve other men's families, this type of thing. That's how we create the universal respect and aspect of barriers between each other. So I think ultimately, I think I would trust a man less if he said the world.
IQ.
Just saying.
Wait,
I mean,
Andrew.
it's
wait,
fine.
this just came to me. It might be the most like toaster brain take ever. But so, I think I talked to Chase about this a while back. But so, do you think like that Jesus will come back?
Yes.
Do you think he's currently alive, like right now, or not yet?
Yeah, he's alive. Correct.
So, like, would this?
He was resurrected and he never died.
But would this in this scenario entail like, because he would resurrect as an actual man, right?
He's already been resurrected, so he's alive right now.
But like in human form.
Well,
Or-
he can incarnate it in human form.
Is he incarnated in human form?
I don't actually. I would have to actually ask on that. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I haven't thought about that before.
Because isn't it? Don't they say that like the Antichrist is currently like walking
Yeah, I
around?
think he would return in human form. Yes.
Okay. So, but if he was in human form, and you chose the world, wouldn't you know what I mean?
Are you talking
And he
about the
chose-
rapture?
Yeah. No. I see what you're saying.
You would
Yeah.
destroy
No.
Jesus?
I agree with you that this could be a violation of Christian ethics. I've never actually thought about the question before. The only thing that I thought about when you asked the question is, Andrew, what actually would you do? Right? You as the person you are right now, like I know how I am, right? What would you actually do in this situation if these two buttons were posed to you? Well, you're all gone, right? And only those with the genetic lineage of Wilson shall repopulate the earth, and that's it, right? That's the way that I see it. That's the only way that I would see it. Put in that. I mean, now these hypotheticals are designed specifically for this, right? To test your morals, test your logic, see what you would actually do. This is not a question which has ever been posed to me before, so I've never actually thought about it. But I think that that's what I would do, and what the implications of that are, I have no idea yet, right?
Right. Yeah. Just.
I chose the world because, one, I don't have a family in the sense of a wife and kids. And ultimately, if it's just my family that's left, we're not going to repopulate the earth, not without incest. And then my mother's going to pass away, my grandparents are going to pass away, and then I'm going to be left alone regardless, with no one to mate with or repopulate the earth on my own. So, that's just the risk that I would be willing to take.
I think in this example, if you pick family, it includes like you die too. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
I think,
okay.
I don't know if that changes anything, but
So this is like you also hit me on one of the theological topics that I'm the worst at, which is eschatology. I tend to stay away from eschatology, and so I don't really dive into it very much.
Yeah.
So there's I would talk to like an ortho priest or somebody like this for answers on eschatology.
Sure.
I'm not that guy.
I apologize. Could you possibly explain what that is?
wait.
Just so I can be
I don't
on
think
track.
it's.
Because I'm not sure what that is.
It's the study of the Escals.
What's Escals?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
boy.
Okay, if you don't want to go there, I'm not going.
I understand. You don't
I'm not
understand,
understanding.
but I don't think it's.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Worth.
That's fine.
Anyways,
I will drop it.
So going back to the roster thing, have you ever had the roster bigger than the one or two that you have now?
I don't think so. I've never talked to multiple guys before. I don't know, just too much work.
Okay.
Just too much.
Ever had a roster?
I did. I'm 29 now, but I had one between 20 and 23, and it was the same person.
How big was the
or
roster?
the same 2 or 3 people.
At the same time?
Yeah.
Okay. Roster.
Never had a roster.
Roster. No. Come on, be honest.
One at a time.
Come on, be honest.
I can't handle more
Okay,
than one of
okay.
you guys.
Roster?
No roster.
No roster?
No.
Zero roster?
Correct. I think.
Any guys on the roster?
Right now, no.
Currently on the roster?
No.
Okay. Roster?
For about 2 years, I was
Yeah, you're poly,
polyamorous.
right?
So I have been seeing around 5 to 10 people, and somewhere in person, somewhere online.
How many of them, of the 5 to 10, were you?
I've only, in those 2 years, I was only with about, in the sex terms, about 5 people, I believe, in general.
Okay. Turkish?
No.
No. No. Okay. Let's see here. I want to get through some of the show notes here. Let's see. Emma, you wanted to talk about toxic relationships?
Oh yeah, they're all awful. No, yeah.
And you've been in a toxic relationship?
No, no. I've been around them a lot, and my twin sister is currently in one.
Wait, you have a twin sister?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Oh, we should have had her on. Does she live nearby?
No.
Okay. She's in a toxic relationship.
Yeah, no, it's a marriage.
Oh, okay. Why is it toxic?
It's abusive.
Yeah. How does she abuse him?
It's the other way around.
Oh, my bad.
You're dead.
Okay.
In all the ways, financially, emotionally, physically.
Okay. You also said when it comes to dating, you hate it.
Yeah, I do.
The expectations of women is crazy.
Yeah.
No one wants to be in love anymore.
Correct.
Not too much of a hot take, I guess. So you hate it. The expectations of women is crazy.
Yeah.
And no one. So The expectations of women is crazy. Do you mean like men's expectations for women?
Correct.
So what are those? What's that?
I think a lot of men expect a lot from women in the sense of like they have to be physically attractive, they have to have intellectual like conversations, but
Wait, they do? Q? Sorry, go ahead.
Me personally, because I'm fairly intelligent. I have to. I'm a nerd.
Philosophy conversation.
No, I don't have to have philosophical conversations, but she needs to understand what I'm saying without me having to explain every single thing to her. Like when me and the woman that I date went on to the Museum of Natural History in Manhattan last week. I really enjoyed it with her because we were both able to read the captions. We played little games with ourselves and everything. She understood what was being said. She was interested in a lot of the evolution and cultures and everything like that. So it was fun. It felt good.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah. So, but going back to you, so you're listing out the I guess the crazy expectations that men have for women, or the expectations of women is crazy. So just in terms of how attractive they have to be, you said the expectation that they be intelligent.
yeah, I guess that one doesn't matter as much, but I think more of like you see it a lot in media as well. The expectations for someone to be sexy while also, the classic drinking beer and eating pizza and loving sports and just being overall the perfect woman, which I think is not,
Anything else? What are some of the other expectations?
I can't really think of them right now.
So before we dive into that, do you guys, opening up to the panel, do you guys agree? Do you think the expectations of women, men have crazy expectations of women? Agree, disagree?
I don't really know. I don't think so.
Don't know? Okay.
I think the majority of men do not have crazy standards. I think they just want to be loved and taken care of.
Okay.
I second that. I also
sorry, go ahead.
I also think that you're looking at like men's expectations of women through like a very media like
what pop culture,
like pop culture-y, like stereotypy like point of view. I don't think everyone's dream girl like needs to watch football with you on Sunday and eat pizza and have a beer and then cook and clean for you then fuck you. Like I think that's super nuanced.
Yeah. I guess that's just from my perspective what I've seen in men, but maybe it's the wrong kind of men.
Like men or media?
Men, actual men.
Okay.
Can I just say I don't think any of that is crazy. I just think men expect their women to like them, because if you have a woman who likes you, that woman can be molded to you. She's interested in what you're interested in. She's open to the experiences that you experience. She literally becomes an extension of you, a reflection of you. And any guy who's had a woman actually like him will attest to that. So I don't think the expectations is necessarily unrealistic or burdensome if you actually like the guy, because a lot of women conform to what the guy that they like already likes doing, how he thinks, how he behaves. You become one and the same, essentially. You become a reflection of that guy.
Sure, yeah. I understand what you're saying. Mm-hmm. That's fair.
I don't think they have much expectations.
Yeah, so I don't think that they have like crazy expectations at all, and I also don't think that nobody wants to fall in love either. I do think that that's a very limited perspective, just as I think that when a woman conforms to the man or like molds to the man, like I think that there's already an innate kind of compatibility within it to mold to the man. Like I don't think that it's just like a completely a woman who is not at all comfortable or likes those kind of things would just like them just because her man likes them. But I do think that, I agree with you, but I do think that there's like a little bit of a different.
Your thoughts?
No, I don't think men ask for too much. I get what Q's saying. Like, I think it's not even the molding. It's just like you want to spend more time. You want to enjoy the things that they do. You know what I mean? Like low key. Like if my man loves football, bro, I don't know anything about sports, but
watch it.
But I'll watch it. I'll pick my favorite player. Like I'll wear a jersey. Like you would do that for your partner, and I don't think it's them asking for it. I think women would do that anyways for the sake of like wanting to spend that. It's like quality time. It's like the 5 types of love. It's like one of those things, doing something that they love.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I don't even think it's like he likes football, so now I have to start watching football. I was in a relationship. He liked basketball. I loved him down. I really did. And all of a sudden, I was scrolling, watching like reels of basketball. Like, oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's so interesting. Like, I genuinely opened my mind up and became interested in it. Not so I could have something to talk to him about it, but it was like, oh, so-and-so really like this, let me send this to them, or we can talk about this. Like it became like a pure enjoyment thing of I'm enjoying something that you enjoy, and that makes me happy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I said
it was
you just
genuine.
expect a girl to like you because she'll behave that way.
Okay, that it makes perfect sense.
On this one, I don't think most men have crazy expectations of women.
Brian does though.
Oh, I do. I've got a long list, but I do think the expectations that women have for men is pretty high, pretty up there.
Yep, that's fair. I think men's is probably focused more on the sexual aspect.
Wait, the what?
The sexual aspect,
Men?
like, yeah.
Are more
Yeah.
focused on, what do you mean?
In like expectations of a woman, like they have to be a certain level of promiscuous, certain body count, like they can't be to this or to that, they have to be just right.
Really?
I've never encountered a guy like that.
Hold on. So, I mean, on the sex component, though, I have to disagree. I think this comes up often. Most, for men, when it comes to sex, I think, like, you really, as a woman, you really got to fuck up to have bad sex with a guy. Like, you got to fuck up. You know, I don't know how you gonna. I don't know. Like what's that saying, Q? It's like pizza. Like
It's hard to fuck up pizza.
Like it's hard to fuck up pizza. Like even bad pizza is still kind of good pizza. Like sex for a guy. I don't know. As a woman, like how you fucking sex up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't remember.
What are you doing,
I
Emma?
don't even know
What's
if I've
going
ever
on,
had
Emma? What are you doing?
bad sex. Like, yeah.
I mean, unless he's like a super submissive dude and he's like looking to the girl to like make the moves. But if you're a guy and you have even like you know how to lead,
and we do all the work, damn near.
Yeah, what the hell, bro?
We do all the work.
What's going on?
Y'all do is auxiliary.
Just get on top and I'll do the work. It's easy. What? It's easy.
Oh my god.
It's true.
That's all it takes. Just I don't know. Hold on. I gotta find this pizza analogy here. Hold on. She hates the analogies. Alex hates these analogies. Okay. Let's see. Where is it? Okay. It goes. Sex is a lot like pizza. When it's good, it's great. When it's bad, it's still pretty good. You know what I mean? Andrew knows what I mean. Q knows what I mean.
So I do agree with analogies. I just don't think
Oh
that
my God, it's
people.
not about you,
no,
lady.
that people. Okay, you know what? Fine.
It's not you. Let's talk about
The people versus inanimate objects. However,
So do you
sex,
have like a dehumanization complex?
Oh my God.
You know what? Maybe I do.
Here, let me help you out. Okay, I know you're like Russian or whatever.
But
and
I
it's
do
confusing.
agree with the sex analogy.
Okay,
I love
hold
that.
on, but an analogy is used to help articulate and elucidate a point. So if somebody makes an analogy when it comes to cars or pizza or whatever, you're not saying that women are cars or women are pizza. You're simply using you're using the English language or any language for that matter to try to help convey something in a way to sort of creatively articulate something that perhaps was misunderstood or not understood simply by the use of language.
Okay, so if I said that men are like cucumbers, what would you say to that?
That would not offend me. I'd be like, how are men like cucumbers?
What's
Because
the analogy?
it's the I don't know, it's the size and the color and I don't know whatever. But
Bro,
it's like
if you're
again, but it's like I personally.
What kind of
the Hulk?
I know. Again, I just brought up like the very first thing that has happened. However, I love the pizza and sex analogy.
thank
That
you.
is
I-
an
thank
excellent
you.
analogy.
I appreciate that.
But I just don't think that inanimate objects and people should be compared in the same way. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Your tongue is it like you're triggered over the
Yes, I'm so
All right, she's
triggered. I'm just so angry. I'm jumping out of my seat.
I just look. I don't know when it comes to the whole sex thing. It's just like, really? You know what I mean?
But that's for a guy's perspective, right? Because for women, it's really easy to have really terrible sex or to
yes.
experience really terrible
but that's
sex.
the point. No, that's
Yeah.
the point I'm trying to make though. Is like as a guy, there's all kinds of different responses in women, whereas for men have a much more uniform. There's far less, I think, variety when it comes to the male sexual response. Whereas for women, y'all are all over the fucking place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, Q, you ever had a girl who, I don't know.
Take a biology
Andrew,
class.
earmuffs. Andrew, earmuffs. All right. Q, you ever had a girl who, some of these girls like, oh, I didn't finish, Andrew.
Go ahead. Ask me
They'll
a
like come within like 5 seconds and then they can have like multiple orgasms.
multiple orgasms. Yes.
Not the 5 second thing?
Not the 5
You
seconds.
got to work on that, buddy. Sorry.
Not the 5 seconds. The quickest I've did it is probably 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Probably
Damn,
3 minutes.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Probably 3 minutes. Yeah. But no, women are complex, especially when it comes down there. It's mechanical. What I say last time? Bite it, rub it, scratch it, lick
Bop
it,
it.
bop
where
it,
is
twist it, pull it.
I thought I had them.
Yeah.
I don't know about pulling.
Yeah. We different women like different things.
True.
Yeah, y'all got all kinds of kinks and all kind of shit going on. So
Well,
I like that analogy.
Here's the example I think I've given before.
Finally, an analogy that you like.
Here's the example that I've given before on this. So, if using, I guess, this pillow princess term, so I'd say 95% of men could reach climax if the girl could just be doing nothing. 95% of men can bring themselves to climax through sex. But if the guy's just there, laying there doing nothing, and he has a stiffy, and you got to get on top and ride him or whatever position you want, but he's not doing anything, fuck? I don't even know what the percentage is. I don't know. Could any
low.
girl here make themselves come? Maybe.
It's low. It's low.
I'd say most women cannot.
Yeah,
make
most
themselves
women
come
can't.
if the
Statistically,
dude
it's low.
was basically just a dildo.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I'm saying yes, but I'm thinking about like having like a toy as assistance, but just well, no.
Yeah.
It'd be very difficult.
It's difficult, right? Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
that's also why as a guy, if you can fuck, you got her. You got her. Gotta know how to fuck.
True. It's true. Anyways, good.
What if Q, like me, you're hung like a stud hamster? Like what would you give the advice to a guy like that? What would you say to him?
You said what if you hung
like a
stud hamster?
Like a hamster. How big?
Yeah. What advice would you give to a man like that?
Well, I mean, you might be shit on the luck.
Man.
You have to.
Yeah, you might have to get some alternative methods going on.
I always knew my wife was a benevolent woman.
What the fuck? Andrew, bro. First off, Andrew is. This guy's got a fucking tree stump down there, okay? He's just joking. This fucking guy. Andrew, come on. Don't be so humility, okay? All right?
Yeah, we know you lying, Andrew. We know why Rachel loves you so much.
This guy's got a Smith & Wesson fucking shotgun.
Because of my awesome personality, Q.
Okay.
Wait, can we pull up young Andrew?
I
Wait,
saw him yesterday. It's crazy.
do girls ever look at a guy? You ever look at a guy and you're like, he's probably got the big dick?
Oh my God, who's that?
That's Andrew.
Wow.
I don't know. I look at young Andrew. This is so gay.
I bet
look
you
at
can say
young
no
Andrew,
now.
And I'm like, he has a giant penis. Like, that's what I think, bro. Okay. Oh my God.
Look,
It's like Adam 22 vibes, low key.
100 pounds. Okay. That's the only reason I look as bad as I do right now. Okay. It's not my fault.
So let's get into some of the other show notes here. So let's see. We have Kendra. Let's see. I don't know. The 14-year-old one, I don't think I want to talk about. Probably not. But you said, why do men suck at communication and not want to commit to women anymore?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of men don't like straight up say like what they want.
Yeah, I actually think I would agree with you. Oh my God, I agreed with another person on the panel. Oh no,
She's not here to witness this phenomenon.
If she ever happened again, I actually think I would agree with you here. But I think there's actually good reasons that men don't want to be in committed relationships with women, and therefore really don't tell them what they want. So I think that women don't want to hear that a man doesn't want to be in a committed relationship. We can agree to that, right? So they have an incentive to lie, right? And say, but I do want to be in a committed relationship, even if they really don't want to be in a committed relationship. And when it comes to marriage in modernity, it's a really bad deal for men. And I think that increasingly men are going to continue to check out of it. So I think that they actually have a lot of incentives to not be open and honest with women about what they want in a relationship.
What are those reasons, Andrew?
Well, I think that if they were open and honest and said, well, I would like to only have sex with you for the rest of my life, but never, ever in a million years get married to you. I'd like to have babies with you, but never get married to you. I would like to never give you this kind of social safety net, which puts me at risk. I think that's why they're somewhat evasive on this topic.
Yep.
Yeah, what do you think, you?
No, I agree. I knew you was going to answer. He was going to hit the nail on the head. Also, of course, with America being more secular and the guys who typically get women, they don't want to sleep with one woman. So if they can tell a woman that they only want her and that they're not going to sleep around, then they'll lie and say that and still sleep around. So
well, let me ask the panel the question. Let's get everybody in for some engagement real quick. Starting with, and I'm sorry if I get any of your names wrong. I did write them down as we were going. Savannah, that's
right.
your name, right?
Yeah.
Let's start with you. So here's the question. In modernity, secularist meaning non-religious, what would actually be a good reason for men who are not religious and women who are not religious to get married? Why would a man actually want to do that? What would be a good reason?
Maybe if he really wants to stick with her for the rest of her life and like create a family. I feel like that would be a good reason.
You would agree though that he could do that with her absent marriage?
With her absent marriage?
Yeah, he could do the same thing, stay with her his entire life, but never get married to her, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So moving to the next, Gabby, what would be a good reason, do you think, for a secularist man to get married?
So this question kind of confuses me because I
can explain if you want. So from a religious standpoint, it's understandable, at least to me, why religious people would want to get married. They're commanded to do so before they have sex. They're commanded to do so divinely before they engage in any sort of, having children, sexual intercourse, things like this. So I can understand why they would want to get married. I don't actually understand why a non-religious man would actually want to get married, though. And so that's my question.
Wait, Andrew, I promise you we will get to this, but we're going to do something we've never done. We're doing a pizza party.
What the fuck?
Did you guys... Wait, any
Andrew,
vegans?
you got to get on. You got to get on the plane right now, bro.
This is some bullshit. I'm out of it. I'm out of it. I got no pizza. He never ordered me pizza, not even once.
Next time, bro, you were supposed to be here. You were supposed to be here.
That's true, I was.
Wait, does anybody not want pizza before we...
Is it pork? Is it can't eat pork?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, sorry.
I don't want any either.
You don't want any? Yes? Pizza good for you guys?
Is he testing the theory?
Yes.
Is that why he bought it? Every pizza tastes good.
We're doing... Yeah, I mean, that's why.
That's why I saw it and I was like, he's brought a slice. Like,
Look at the plates, matching plates. Also, while we do the pizza party, we're actually going to do something new also.
And there's not even pineapple. It's the perfect pizza. There's no pineapple at all.
Oh, you lost me with that one, Andrew.
Wait, you like pineapple on your pizza?
No, I don't.
It's good.
No, I hate it.
We on the same team. Oh, okay, we on the same side.
It's the perfect pizza. It's the perfect pizza.
So what we're gonna actually do, just because it's gonna be super disruptive. This is the first time testing this. We might never do it again. I meant to do it last show, but they didn't deserve that shit. That was a rough one. We're gonna do a roast session. What's the word? Intermediate
roast session.
We're gonna do a roast session.
Everybody can eat and recharge, right?
Oh, roast.
We're gonna do a roast session while we eat the pizza. I'm gonna bring the TTS down to 20. Then we'll bump it back up, and then we'll do a roast session at the end. So Andrew, I don't know if you want to grab. I don't know if Rachel can go make you some peach cobbler or something.
She can read my mind, so she's already making.
Oh, bro, you fucking retard, bro. Holy shit.
I'm sorry. I'm clumsy, not a
my
retard.
God.
Thank you.
How are you gonna fucking fumble fucking party foul a fucking pizza?
I was going to pass it on. I'm clumsy. I'm clumsy. Very clumsy. I got a concussion a few weeks ago, so just getting into my car, I'm very clumsy. So
you had a
this is
concussion.
normal.
You can't eat a piece of pizza because you had a concussion.
No, I was trying to pass it on. I'm
To who,
clumsy.
bro? I already got a pizza, bro. God damn, bro. Okay, so
That's what I get for being
pizza party. We need the chat to spam pizza emojis. Oh, I should have had Madison get me a hot dog, for. Anyways, just
oh, my neck.
little Costco hot dog.
And a champagne pop. Boy,
Yeah, this is
lucky as hell.
Yeah. So okay, guys, it's the roast session. So I don't know. Hold on. Let me get this all set up. You guys, if you want, you can start eating. Go ahead. Don't wait for me.
I didn't know if we was going to toast the pizzas or what.
I'm pretty sure we're
I will drop it again.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. That's wonderful.
Let's see. Pizza. I'll do a little thing. If you guys want, guys. Roast session. We'll do a little, 10-minute roast session.
First.
We'll do 1999 TTS during the pizza.
Wait, they're going to roast us.
Yeah, you can roast us. You can roast me. You can roast Maddie. You can roast Q.
Roast.
All right.
Sad Burrito donated $20.
Oh, bruv.
Brian, what are you doing this to me?
I got one.
Is it cause I got saggy?
Yes. I'm cheating. I'm cheating on you, Burrito.
With a pizza?
Yeah. I should have asked for a hot dog, but I forgot. So.
Wait, what? You should have asked for a hot dog?
Yeah, there's hot dogs. Andrew?
Oh.
Yeah, hot dog. You like hot dogs?
Would you have gotten a big hot dog, Brian?
Oh, the biggest. It was big and.
All right, where's it from? Where's the pizza from?
Costco?
Oh, well, that sounds pretty good. Probably pretty good. As the roast come in, I'll still ask the question until they start coming in. So, she left. Maddie, maybe I can ask you then. I'm sorry, you have to eat, or you don't get to eat while you answer the question until the roast comes in, I guess. The question still is, what do you think the incentive would be for a secularist man to get married, a non-religious man?
Me, Maddie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless there's another Maddie there.
There is.
There is. Oh, well, that's Maddie with a D, right?
Well, how do you spell your name?
M-A-D-Y.
M-A-D-I.
Yours is the same?
Mine's Y.
Mine's I.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You, Maddie.
Me, Maddie. Okay.
Yeah, you, Maddie.
I don't think there's really a reason for a good reason for a non-religious
General
man.
Jeffrey donated $20. I learned one thing tonight. Many people do not understand the meaning of the word depreciation.
Even the super chat, in the time it took for it to come through, has
donated
depreciated.
$20. Chair 1, why is it so hard for you to read?
Chair 1, I think that's
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I guess I have a hard time reading.
She reads it up.
Copic
She was kind of nervous tonight, guys. Got her some slack.
Andrew, please comment on God asking Hosea to marry a prostitute in the Old Testament.
Wait, what?
It's for Andrew.
Oh, are we back? Oh,
Dirty
man, why are we
underscore
always
Bisso
coming-
donated $20.01. Bricks and Sevi me-heated Lil Caesars. Keep them 304s humble.
Hey, look.
By the way, he's talking about he's talking about a
Trump
command which
donated
is broken, becoming
$20.
broken.
The car analogy might be a bad idea. Cars always come with a few miles because they are test driven by the factory. That's just sick. I guess you could call the factory and place a special order. Amanda the MedTech donated $20. Brian, how dare you cheat on the burritos? This is why your dumpy has gotten so big.
Is the pizza?
Hey, you know, it is what it is.
Max K donated $20. Somebody smack that out of Fatty's hand. Man up and put down the fork, you slob.
Who do they mean?
Who's using a fork?
Derp donated $20. Brian, can you please stop lacking when it comes to uploading the panel's instas?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna add it. My bad. I'm gonna add
What
it.
does he want?
Oh, somebody read. Can you read this?
Oh, someone please, for the love of God, explain in more depth the purpose of an analogy. P.S. Brian, F.U. My Canadian? Is that I can't
Dylan Joe donated
Somebody else
Speaking of
read.
Earl Madison, great job. Respect to you for interviewing on the front line. Good thing you wear that helmet. It's no man's land out there. Might I suggest a trick or treat, Earl, for Halloween? Ray Barucci donated $50. It is what it.
That's beautiful, Ray. Thank you, man. It is what it.
It should be on the plaque.
That's some Shakespeare.
The Flame Alchemist donated $20. Andrew, how long did it take for you to become this punctual, concise, and a master debater? Also, big W for you staying up till 3 a.m. There's a fellow me gander, I know the pain. Can I add you on Steam?
Yes.
Just
yes, you
General
can.
donated $21. Red shirt. Why do you wear the watch on the outside of the shirt? Red glasses.
Oh.
Do you even know where you are right now, you oblivious throat goat?
Wait, what?
I'm on the podcast. What?
Boys donated $20. Chair 4, I guess you only try for the thumbnail picture and not the panel. Chair 6, your glasses are clashing hard with your sweater, like an autistic Velma.
Thank you. I didn't expect to be on, so.
Don't let Russian feminist fool you being clumsy. She got a concussion from being donkey punched.
Well, actually, I got a concussion going into the car because I'm just clumsy, but whatever you want to think.
I love this pizza party. Brian went soft. His ass is still fatter than mine, though.
Dumpy.
Yep.
Moneybag underscore O donated $20. Are the girls' slices smaller than Brian's?
Yeah, Brian. Did you give him smaller slices?
Yeah. Yes, and I took 2 pieces.
I mean, that's a big W.
4 donated $20. Chair number 6, I'm a car guy and I will always pick the low mileage car just like my women. Don't be mad cause you high mileage. Brian, Andrew, and Q, I appreciate what you guys do.
Low mileage and zero mileage is
donated
different.
$21. Brian, drop the pizza and get on the Stairmaster, fatty.
I'm on.
By the way, I always appreciate panels with Q because I end up arguing a bit with Q too, which I think is good.
I love it. I love it. Well, okay.
Damn, y'all don't eat. You're not gonna finish or what? What's up?
I like get hungry and then like I take a break and then I may get hungry in a bit.
That's it. That's all you're gonna eat.
I don't really feel like eating on here.
Damn, bro.
Too
Why
much.
you ask for a slice of pizza then?
I don't know.
Can I eat
felt
it?
bad. Yeah, you can
You
eat
like
it.
that?
Yeah, please take it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
damn. Okay, she's down for the cause. We can't let good Costco pizza go to waste. You know
The
what I mean?
cheese go to
And I have
waste.
caffeine, so.
It's delicious.
Just later, don't go on Twitter and be like, and they starved us, and they wouldn't give us any water, and they wouldn't let us have anything, and they kept us there for 6 hours. Oh, no. Just as long as you don't do that, I think we're in good shape.
Oh yeah.
No, we're eating
Andrew, that
this in
sounds like
front
the
of us.
average woman in my church.
Guy from Rio donated $20. Andrew, stop smoking. We need you to live well to your hundreds.
Got a quit date. My quit date is Halloween this year.
Let's go.
And Halloween is my birthday, so that's kind of fun.
Mr. Zero
My
have
quit date
donated
is no longer Halloween of
$21.
this year.
Hey Turk, hope you and everyone are having a good night, D.
Hi,
My new
Zero.
quit date is the day after Halloween because I'm just not going to share that day with you. There's no way.
Captain Awesome donated $20.
Thank you, Captain.
Brian and Q, you guys are awesome.
Appreciate
Andrew,
that.
you're a legend and the fucking goat. Been a fan of the pod for a while and found Andrew before he got big. PS cars are intricate just like women. Moneybag underscore O donated $20. I wish I was on the other show with the so-called witch. I had to bring it up. Was she not ridiculous? She can take her magic conch shell and shove it.
Which witch?
The one from last show, I think.
Deep Throat Burrito donated $20. Brian, Why pretend you like pizza when you know burrito is your go-to, filling all your 3 holes to fill worse than 403 hot dogs? No homo.
I had a burrito today.
Jacob donated $20.
For lunch.
Brian, back up from the mic a little bit, please. I'm here to watch a podcast, not get my ear destroyed. Also, hey Turk.
Oh, dude.
Hey, Jacob.
Come on.
It's ASMR.
Layla donated $20. Muslim woman here. Beautiful panel tonight. Hello, ladies. I will never understand women choosing a bear. If we walk a moral and modest path, we won't encounter a bear or man that acts like a bear.
Well, I'll never understand women
Kennedy's
choosing
Convertible
Islam.
donated $20. How about them tigers, Andrew?
How about them? How about them tigers?
Dylan Joe donated $20. I'll roast that Reddit post on ratings. Arna Duarmas is a 10. Still wouldn't simp to a 10 though. Dominating is a man's job. Turk say hole.
What is it? Hole?
Ryan's dietitian donated $20. My sprinkler goes like this and comes back like this. Any updates on Mason?
Oh, we can pull that up.
Timber donated $20. Thank God for that one chick who egged some guy to cut his balls off. I would have never found you all if not for her.
Wait, what? Oh, Kayla? Or what was her name?
Tim_E donated $20. Can we quickly ask why women hate the car analogy, please? It is always the same rage when that analogy is made.
I think it's just me. I don't think it's all the women here.
Virgin Slayer donated $20. Andrew, I took your course and now I can even master debate when they try to come draft me for World War III. Thank you, brother.
You're welcome. By the way, this was done in
Michigan
in tandem with
Christian
whatever
donated $20.
I'll pull it up.
Shout out to JD Vance for winning his debate against Vals and the moderators. CBS sucks donkey balls. Since we know women love voting Democrats, which of you degenerates will be voting for Kamala?
Show of hands.
Not a roast, it just can finally afford a TTS Little Big Fans, Brian's. And Andrew, keep doing what you do, celebrating 1 year of sobriety today, and glad I get to share with y'all. God is good. Thank you, KP. Appreciate it, man. Congrats on that.
Dirty Brian and the boys donated $20. You see how Brian chooses a certain look for his employees behind him? It reminds him of the good times with the ladyboys in Thailand. He can't get enough and he hates it.
We're both excellent.
Oh, me so horny. Me love you long time.
Bear in the Woods donated $21. I'm waiting, Brian. Send the idiots.
Wait, send the idiots? Oh,
It's
the
the bear,
bears.
yeah.
All the women who pick bear. Can we pull up that meme with Kyle?
Moneybag_O donated $20. You have a strange hate toward Islam, Andrew. I think you're a great debater and really enjoy most points you make, but the insults are distasteful. All love you, scumbag.
Listen, Brian, you gotta pause it.
I'll pause it.
I think.
Wow. Go ahead.
I just want to respond to this so that you understand the Christian view on this. I have Muslims who are friends, and I have Muslims I talk to in DMs all the time. But I need to, just so that you understand, every time you deny the divinity of Christ, even though you've been given the message, for me, that's like you're killing Christ over and over and over again. And this is why I argue so incessantly with Muslims. I'm an Orthodox Christian, and that's never going to change. You could never convert me under all the tortures of the world. That would never happen. Anyway, thanks, Brian.
Have you always been Orthodox?
Captain Awesome donated $20. I'd take a air over a woman. Women kill you slowly and drain your life energy without giving you sex.
All right, guys. Captain Awesome, thank you. That's going to conclude the intermediary
Yeah, we
roast.
can't do a few more. They're great. They're great, Brian.
If there's a couple stragglers and they come in, sure, but we'll reopen it at the end of the show. But I want to get back to get through the everything. But I don't know if yours was that okay. I don't know. Was it waste of time?
What the fuck?
Dylan Joe donated $20.
I'll allow
I'd love
these next
to see a
three
panel
and
of all bears.
just a heads up, guys. Yo, Dylan, thank you. Just a heads up, TTS is now back to 200. If there's a couple stragglers, we'll let them come through. But that concludes the pizza roast
Dirty_Basso
session.
donated $20. Can we update the bear versus man question from now on to meeting a random man versus polar bear, knowing that the polar bear is only carnivorous and actively hunt humans?
That's not a bad idea. What about silverback gorilla, though? Would you rather be in the forest, come across a man in the forest, or a silverback gorilla?
Oh, man.
Moneybag_O donated $20. There's no compulsion in religion, so no one that's a true Muslim would want to convert you. We respect your decisions, Andrew.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit
Can I-
lies.
can I make a
don't want to hear
comment?
it. It's fucking bullshit lies.
I'm actually Muslim, but I respect every religion there is. I don't think I'd want to convert anybody. I believe that everyone can believe what they want to believe.
Well, how come your
Jake
prophet
donated
screwed?
$20.
Well, never mind.
Would you
Sorry, I
rather
couldn't
be in the
hear.
woods with a random vintage car with 0 miles or chair 6? Also, congrats KP on 1 year. Proud of you, random person on the internet. P.S. Maddie, say pineapple.
Wait, who's KP?
KP's 1 year anniversary as a viewer for. He donated $20 to say thank you, Andrew. for
Oh,
one
the
year.
previous donator. I thought it was somebody at the panel.
Not the.
Okay, do you guys want to have the quick exchange on that, or I don't know?
Oh, what were you saying about your
How old was Aisha?
Oh boy.
Sorry.
How old was Aisha?
Asia?
Aisha, that would be the wife of your Prophet Muhammad.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Do you mind repeating the question?
How old was the wife of your Prophet Muhammad?
I'm not sure.
9 years old. He married her when she was 9 years old.
Okay.
9.
Okay.
That's why, yeah, I have
You're allowed
that
to
just
believe what you
starts
wanna
with my
believe, 100%.
fundamental disagreements with Islam,
I
and
do
it just goes
understand
up
that.
from there.
I know, but
Society
I think
changes.
someone was saying that. I think someone donated saying that we're not trying to convert you, and I was just trying to say I agree. I don't think it's like Muslims are trying to convert anybody.
All right.
But everyone's allowed to believe what they want to believe.
All
That's
right,
fine.
I'll
Thank you.
leave it there because it's a dating
Yeah,
podcast,
it
and I don't want to
is.
get into theology. I think that that's totally fair because it'll get brutal very quickly.
Of course.
I'm just going to leave it there.
We have JJ, Brian. Well, I mean, all right, I'll read them, but you guys should send these as TTS. You look good. You look like you lost 15 pounds. Let me guess, no carbs. I lost a couple pounds. For the guys on the panel, how many of you would let your daughters go to a frat party without a chaperone, still choose the bear? I mean, man, we can't do questions really for the super chats, but I appreciate, man. Although I didn't really specify that it's Streamlabs. So, what was the fucking question? Would you let your daughter go to a frat party
Without a chaperone.
Yeah.
just show of hands. Would you let your daughter go to a frat party without a
You said the
chaperone?
men on the panel.
Oh, to the men on the panel?
Yeah, I think they
No.
should. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not. My daughter. I don't.
My daughter wouldn't want to go to a frat party.
My daughter wouldn't go to college.
She wouldn't want. I mean, I don't.
Maybe she would. Maybe if I'm nice. I don't know.
If I'm nice.
All right, and then wait. Oh shit.
Has Andrew been
Is
talking?
he on mute?
Has Andrew been talking this entire time?
Yo, Luis, thanks for gifted 10 memberships. Appreciate it. Okay, let me.
This is dual streamed, and so I do talk to my chat occasionally. I do tend
Molly
to
That's the last
Brown
one.
has donated
That's the last one.
$20. It's not BS. She's sitting right there. Ask her if she wants to force you.
Yeah, but
Yeah, we'll
Muslims
just
can
end the
lie. They can
conversation
lie
there,
to the
yeah.
infidel. They can lie to the infidel, and they lie to the infidel.
Oh, did not mean for that to trigger twice.
We'll just put it in though, money back. Thank you for the dono.
All right, we have.
Yeah, I'm not trying to turn this into a religious debate, right? It moved that direction specifically because of the nature of the super chat. I don't have any problems with the young lady here. She seems like she's very nice, right? But that'll turn into like a brutal slugfest back and forth. Neither one of us is wanting that, so we'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
All right, guys, the TTS is back up to 200, but thank you to everybody who participated in that little roast session. Thank you, guys. Okay. Okay. Andrew, the Bible allows blank sex between married couples? I thought I changed it. Not sure why it came through, but should be switched back. Not sure what that's about. Okay. Thank you. Sorry, guys. I'm just double checking. Oh, okay. I see what happened. Okay. All right. So let's get back into the pre-show notes. I don't know if we fully finished off. Kendra, you said, why do men suck at communication, not want to commit to women anymore? Right. If I recall correctly, Andrew, I actually said we would table, before we get back to that, Andrew, you were in the middle of something, and I said we would table it. Do you recall?
Yeah, we were discussing secular marriage. We actually stopped off with Maddie as the roast continued. That's Red Shirt Maddie, not to be confused with employed by the whatever podcast Maddie. I hope you don't get upset that I say Red Shirt Maddie, right? It's just an easy way to distinguish.
Totally fine.
Okay, great. So when we were discussing secular marriage, you were saying you don't really think that there's a good, compelling reason for a man who's non-religious to get married.
No, not necessarily, because there's just a ton of legalities that go into it. You could play the argument of, oh, well, if you want to be with someone long-term committed and you don't plan on ever splitting up or divorcing, then why not get married? But why get married? I think, like, personally, me, I want to get married under God. I'm a religious person. I'm Christian. And that's something that I would want, because I see it more as a union under God, and then the paperwork comes, and then we're legally and financially bind.
But even if there's no paperwork, right, you consider this a sacrament, right?
I do consider it a sacrament, yes.
Okay. Moving over to the next, I believe it's Kendra. Is that right?
Yeah.
Can you think of a good reason why non-religious men should actually get married to women in modernity?
I think it goes both ways for, making like sacrifices for each other. I mean, I think that'd be the only way. Like, you both sacrifice things, and
Couldn't you both sacrifice the same things without getting married?
I mean, a sacrifice in marriage would also be legality in terms of money, finances.
Couldn't that be settled with a prenuptial agreement?
Yeah, but during the marriage, you still share the same money.
Yeah, sure, but you could still share the same money if you weren't married, right?
Yeah, and that's the sacrifice. Because you're legally
I don't understand. What's the sacrificial part?
because you're legally bound, and like when you're not married, you're not. So like if I'm not married to somebody, I could have my own funds somewhere else. We could still share the same money, but like legally.
Yeah, so then what's the incentive to get married if you're
That's what
not
I'm saying. The
religious?
only thing would be like to make those types of sacrifices.
But you can make those same type of sacrifices absent marriage if you're a secularist. That's what I don't understand.
I mean, yeah, but it wouldn't be the same sacrifice. Like,
Why not? Why wouldn't it be the same? So if you're not religious, then you say, okay, but we're going to share all of the money, right, exactly equally. Now you're not legally bound, but you just do the same exact thing. What would be?
I mean, there's other
it's the same
sacrifices.
sacrifice, right?
There's other sacrifices besides just money.
Well, what are the other ones?
I mean, legally, you can't like be with other people. Like,
No, I think legally you can be with other people. So you could be married, for instance, and open your relationship up, and you would still very much be married. You could step out of your marriage, and you would still very much be married by the state, for instance. But even that aside, if you were a secularist, meaning non-religious, and you didn't get married, couldn't you just not step outside of that relationship anyway?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm not married, so I can't really speak on it. I don't know all the details.
Like for instance, right now, if you were in a relationship, you had a boyfriend, and you both loved each other, but you weren't married, you would still consider it cheating if you slept with another woman, right?
Yeah. It's easier to leave, though.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, exactly. It's easier to leave. But you would still consider it cheating even though you weren't married, correct?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I mean, you could still have those same types of arrangements even if you weren't married, right?
Yeah, but I feel like there's just more of a sacrifice being made because, like, if you do cheat and you do decide to separate and you want to get divorced, there's a lot more that goes into that than just leaving.
Right, so from the perspective of the man, if he was going to get a worse end of the deal, generally, if that were to occur, if you were a man and you weren't religious, wouldn't you just not want to get married?
Sure.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
I don't really wanna get
going
married.
over to Emma with the crazy mom. What's your answer here? Can you think of a good, compelling reason?
I cannot.
You can't?
No reason. No idea.
And then Alex?
So the only reasons I personally think that there are to get married are if there's children involved, and or if there's two different countries kind of thing. So it's like for one person to come over to the other country and stay within that country. A lot of times they have to be actually physically married in order to be, to have like a visa to actually stay here. Otherwise it'd be a lot more difficult. So overall, I don't think there's an actual reason, but those are the only two that I think that are valid.
So the reasons that you would have would be, this benefits me in some way, but you would agree with me, for instance, even if we were talking about visa immigration, that people could get married who didn't love each other at all, just for the purposes of bringing that person over, right? And this happens quite often.
I completely agree with you, but again, we're just talking about the marriage part, so, that still, I think, counts.
Okay, thank you. And then moving over to Turkish. Sorry, and by the way, you said your name is Turkish Delight. Did you get that from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? I'm just curious, right?
No,
Did you get
I
that
didn't.
from the movie?
I didn't.
No?
I'm sorry. I just like Turkish
That's the
delights.
only time I ever heard of that candy, by the way, was in that movie. But I was just curious.
I don't even know the
so,
movie. Sorry.
Yeah. Can you think of a good, compelling reason why a non-religious person should actually get married, especially a man?
To be honest, I feel like you should only marry if you want the, like, I would only get married in the sense of religion. But I feel like, if you want to get married, you should do it for the sake of wanting to, and it's like wanting the benefit of it. Me, like, I feel like this sense of security, I know you're saying they can cheat regardless, whether or not they're married or not, but it's kind of more giving that sense of security where, like, you both know, it's like an agreement that you're both communicating to stay loyal to each other, to stay with each other through sickness and in health, to being with each other, to working together on, like, your goals for your children. Like, I'm very traditional in a sense of a man and a woman. They get married, they raise the children, have a family, grow old together. That's
Sure.
the way that
Well,
I
hang on.
want
Let's kind of take these one at a time.
Sorry.
Well, you don't have to apologize. I was just getting your position down. So, starting with the last thing you said first, why couldn't a man and a woman do all of those same things you just stated, not married?
They can. There's definitely people that do that without marriage. But me personally, I think
Yeah, I know you. Hang on, you personally. We're going to leave that aside, right? This is not what you, as the religious Alexa, would do. I already know what you would do. You want marriage. You want the kids. You want the husband. You want the covenant, right?
Yeah.
What we would call the covenant. I don't know what you call it in Islam, but what we would call the covenant. You want that. Got that. Can you think of a good reason, though, why men who are not religious should get married?
men who are not religious and do not believe in any God, they don't believe in any religion, they don't believe in heaven and hell, like atheist type, like genuine questions.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Those types.
They would do it for their significant other to make them happy. Like, for example, if I was marrying an atheist, I feel like they would only do it for the sake for me. I feel like regardless, they wouldn't really care.
Why would that be? But why would that be good for them?
Because maybe they need to be married under their own act, like their own, like they want to be married.
Yeah, but they don't want to be married.
No. I know they don't want to, but I'm saying you're asking me why would someone who is not religious want to?
What would actually be the incentive? So the question here is, if you're an atheist or a secularist, non-religious, you don't believe in all of what you consider the God, voodoo, hoodoo, the sky fairy, the, whatever you call it, And you look at the deal that a man has in modernity in the West in marriage and what happens with divorce and things like this. What would your actual incentive to get married to a woman be?
I'm going to be honest. I feel like if people don't really want religion, I don't think they really want marriage because it doesn't hold any much value to them. But if they were to do it, it would honestly be for the sake of the other person if the other person wanted the marriage.
So your answer is basically just only if it made the other
Someone
person
else happy. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
like,
but let's say you were just you were sitting down in a room and it was just you were just purely being asked this on a cost-benefit analysis, right? Let's say that you were a marriage counselor and your job was to only do a cost-benefit analysis. 2 secularists came in, non-religious, and they sat down and they said, look, she wants to get married and I don't because I take all the risks and she's not taking any risk, right? The courts favor her, everything else. What would your advice be to him if that was your job?
Oh my God. I'm going to be honest. I feel like if he's looking at the relationship in terms of loss, then that doesn't feel like a genuine relationship. Because you'd want to, this is my opinion.
But isn't she doing the same thing by demanding he get married?
But like, shouldn't she bring something to the plate by getting married? Like, is it just all of his money? Like, I feel like, wouldn't she be also contributing to the marriage and contributing to the money and contributing?
Yeah, sure, but why should he take the additional risk if they already have the equal contribution?
What is his additional risk?
You know, the additional risk is that the courts will likely favor her in the case of divorce, and the chances that they get divorced is actually quite high.
Oh.
So you are here just doing a cost-benefit analysis, and he says, well, based on what I'm seeing, it looks like it might be a really raw deal for me and a very good deal for her. And these are your clients. Hang on, these are your clients, and you have to give him the advice. What would you give this atheist? What advice from just a purely cost-benefit analysis would you give him?
Don't get married.
I think
no, hang on, let her answer.
I think I would honestly just say to remain patient and to like organize other things before the marriage card becomes dealt with, because one, I feel like I wouldn't want to be with someone who's worried about being divorced. I don't know, that's weird to me. Like, don't you want eternity with me? Why are you thinking about the outcome?
Well, they don't believe in eternity.
But then, so they should be focusing on the present, and on the present right now, I'm telling you I love you, I'm telling you that I want to commit with you, and I want to...
they love you, and they love you too.
And if they're scared, then I think it's something they just need to wait on. Like, I don't recommend getting married if that is something that's like, if that's going to make them feel bad.
So you would tell them not to get married?
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, right. So essentially, your advice ultimately to the man would be, don't do it.
Don't do it now until you're comfortable.
Yeah, don't do it. Yeah, don't do it.
Yes,
right?
the
Because
now aspect.
if you were just doing pure cost-benefit analysis, so your advice to the man would be, don't do it.
Yes, if that's gonna. But I feel like the partner should also understand from their part. Like, if my partner was feeling like that and saying like, I feel like there's divorce or whatever, I feel like it's just like, it's about like coming to an agreement. It's about meeting halfway, like seeing how can both people be happy. Like, if he's that worried, like, oh my God, we need to talk about that.
Can you look right into the camera and tell that man no?
No. Did I do it right?
You did it right. You did it right. You aced this test, I promise. Moving over to Q. Q, cost-benefit analysis, right? Can you give me a good, compelling reason why a non-religious man in modernity should get married?
Off the top of my head, no, I don't see the overall benefit in it, especially if the foundation is holy matrimony. The only thing that I would say would even be potentially compelling enough would be dependent on how much they value just the idea of it, in the sense of, I want to be married, you know, and maybe they grew up religious and converted to being atheist.
So like there's a tradition behind it.
Yeah, like just.
But let's give you the same scenario. I think I can understand the idea that because my parents were married, my grandparents were married, I also want to be married even if, even if I'm not religious. I think I can kind of wrap my head around that. But help me out here. You are doing a cost-benefit analysis, sitting down with this couple who are both atheists. And the man says, look, this looks like it's going to be a really raw deal for me. I'm taking a lot of risk here. And it seems like the risk is very mitigated on her end. So we either do a prenup or I'm just not going to do the marriage. What would you advise this man to do?
Well, first I would warn him about all the risks that he's involved with. That's the first thing. I would let him know.
He's already acknowledging the risks. They're arguing because she wants to get married, he doesn't. Because of these risks.
It's not really.
Can you tell me the compelling reason you give him as to why he should?
No, I can't really think of it.
No.
Yeah, no.
Can't give him. So I just want to reiterate, this is the men and the women agreeing. Not a single person has been able to give a good reason for why men in modernity should actually marry non-religious women, and them not being religious themselves, why they should get married. I just wanted to point that out, right? Maddie, what about you? Right, I haven't picked on you in weeks, which I always feel bad about. Tell me, Can you think of a single reason?
No, I mean, if you're even hesitating marriage, I don't think you should get married at all. The only reason I can actually think of, which kind of sounds like a little manipulative, is that it's harder for her to leave. Make it a pain in the ass for her to leave.
It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't think you should get married, though, if you're even hesitating, thinking about it.
Okay. Well, I have one more question to go around to the panel. We're going to start again with Savannah. So this is kind of a really basic hypothetical, but really interesting the answers we get off of this. So starting with you, a random woman and a random man, okay? They're put in front of you, okay? Which one, now both of them, you don't know which one, okay? Which one do you think would be more likely to tell you the truth? Out of a random woman or a random man, which one do you think would be more likely to tell you the truth? The man, okay. Moving over to Gabby, random woman, random man, which one do you think would be more likely to tell you the truth?
I agree, random man.
Okay. And then Maddie?
A man.
A man. And then moving over to Kendra?
A woman.
You think a woman would be more likely to tell you what's true? Okay. And then moving over to Emma?
A woman.
A woman, okay. And then moving over to Alex?
It's a very difficult question, honestly, because...
It is. Well, it is. I agree with that.
So, honestly, I have no idea. I feel like it's 50-50.
Okay. Well, then, you know, whichever one you would... Whatever that, like, small, tiny, minute grain of possibility is that you would lean towards, because these are your only two options, which one do you think would be more likely to do so?
Okay, so just because, as you said, I come from a feminine perspective, and my own perspective, I always tell the truth, I would say a woman only based on that fact and that fact alone.
Okay. And then moving over to Turkish.
Because they're random, completely random, I would say a male.
A man. Okay.
Yes.
So moving back to you, Savannah, why did you pick a man? Why do you think a man would be more likely to tell you the truth than a woman?
I feel like guys often like tell the truth more than a girl does. I feel like girls lie more than guys do.
What type of lies do you think women tell more than men? Because, I mean, men and women both lie. We both agree that's true, right?
I mean, it could be anything, like the smallest things.
Like what types of things? Well, one of the things that I hear a lot, and I don't want to lead you in this, but that's just what I hear a bunch, is white lies. Like they'll often pick each other apart in their brains while they're telling each other compliments that they don't really mean, things like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Would that, yeah? Those types of lies?
I think so, for sure.
Okay. Gabby, why did you choose a man?
In my experiences dealing with both men and women throughout my life, I found women to be a lot more fake and they lie about things a lot more than men do.
Damn. Okay. Maddie, why are we going with a man, Maddie?
I went with man because I think as girls, women, we don't want to necessarily hurt each other's feelings. So like if I were to ask a random woman on the street and I'm wearing a ugly dress, I said, does this look cute? She's going to say yes because she doesn't want to tear down my self-confidence, even though it's not necessarily the truth. But a man is going to be more likely to tell me straight up that dress is ugly. That's how I feel.
Okay. And then moving over to Kendra, why did you pick a woman?
Because men be capping.
Like, okay, I don't know what that means exactly.
They really like to put an emphasis on things that, you know, it is what it is, but they like to like gas it up a little bit.
Exaggerate.
Exaggeration. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that that's maybe fair, but when it comes to actual truth telling, like I'm going to tell you the raw, honest truth, you still think women?
I think there's a difference between the truth and the fact. So.
What's the difference between the truth and the fact?
The truth is like what it really is, and a fact is just an opinion based on like evidence that everybody has gathered and collectively agrees on.
Yeah, but don't you think that most people would say a fact is the truth?
No. I mean, if you don't know the difference between them.
Okay, so, I actually don't. I'm trying to figure this out from your purview. So everybody agrees to something, that's what makes it a fact?
Yes.
But it can still be untrue.
The truth is something that's actually been proven. And like, it's true. Well, actually, it's a fact that this table is white. That's just what society has gathered.
But is it true that the table is white?
No, it's a fact because society as a whole said this color is white.
Hang on. So is it untrue that the table is white?
I mean, I'm not saying it's untrue. I'm not saying it's true.
But you're not saying it is true. Well, okay.
What we
I guess
all know.
Another way to ask this, do you think that people can know what is true?
No.
Okay. So if you don't think that, and I understand that worldview too, if you don't think people can know what is true, then let me rephrase it for your worldview. Do you think that a man or a woman is going to be more likely to tell you what is factual?
A woman.
Okay. And why did you choose woman?
I don't know. I have a different, like, experience with women. Like, my closest friends, like, we're all very honest and blunt with each other. But a random person, just because...
Yeah, this is random. Random man, random woman.
Yeah.
Which one do you think would be more likely to tell you a fact? Even if the fact was uncomfortable or something you didn't like or something you didn't appreciate or, this
I
type
think
of
still a
thing.
woman. I don't think a man.
Okay.
I don't know. I just don't think so.
So it's been your experience that men have been less honest with you, at least when it comes to facts, than women.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Emma, same thing to you. Why did you choose woman?
I think womanhood, it's like a girl-to-girl thing, so I feel like as a woman, other women are more reliable. 'Cause if I'm like, hey, do I have something in my teeth? They're like, yes, girl, I got you if you do. Like,
You want a man say that to you too if you ask him?
I don't think so.
You don't think a man would tell you if you had something in your teeth? If you asked him, do I have something in my teeth? You think he'd be like, no.
I don't think they're as reliable to tell you that.
Okay. And then Alex, why did you choose a woman?
So again, just based on my own personal, of the way that I go off, because I do feel like it's about 50-50. However, just based on your question earlier for the factual part of it, I do think that man will actually present the facts and women would present more of the feelings. Does not.
Well, hang on. Do we? Then you don't believe we can know what is true?
Both can be true though, because for a woman,
I'm not
her
asking
feelings,
if it can be. I'm
her
just
feelings
asking-
are true. But
Yeah,
it's
my
like,
question is not that. My question is just, do you think we can know what is true?
we as in who? Like the person
And
who is listening to the
can
lie?
you know what is true? You yourself, Alex, can you know what is true?
True of what? Like,
True. A statement which is truth
that someone else said or that I'm saying?
that you're saying.
That I'm saying, yes, I can think that a statement is true.
Okay, but does that make it true?
That does not necessarily make it true for
Got
everybody
it. Okay,
else.
so now that we know that you thinking a thing is true doesn't make it true.
Yeah.
Do you think people can know what is true?
In general, people could, but then at the same time, they don't actually know because everything is based on their own perspectives.
Right, I understand completely. So then we'll just do the same
Yeah.
thing and say facts.
Yeah.
Who do you think is more likely to tell you the fact?
And as I've said, I think men are more likely to
Okay.
present the facts. I've already said that, like the actual facts of the general like knowledge instead of the feelings and the personal truth.
Got it. Okay, so then, do you agree with me that most people would use the term fact and truth interchangeably?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, most
Technically,
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
So when I
true.
ask you, this question, and I kind of rephrase it to, okay, now facts, you agree with me that we're essentially asking the same thing.
Yeah.
So your answer would actually change that men then, if most people use truth and facts interchangeably, men would be more likely to tell you what is true.
If we're using it interchangeably
Yeah.
and there's absolutely no,
Difference.
if there's absolutely no difference, no nuance, yes, I would agree with you.
Gotcha. Okay, and then Turkish.
Can I be honest? I feel like men just don't care. Like they don't care to sugarcoat anything. They don't care to like straight up. If I ask Q, like someone asked him about the whole virginity thing and taking the girl's virginity and like what was the reason, he could have like sat here and lied and said like she did this or whatever. He just said conflict and I didn't want to deal with it. So like he just was blunt. He's like that's the fact, and I move
Dude,
on. Like there's no
if
need.
I had a hand raised around the table from just the women, do you agree with her that men mostly just don't care and are very blunt with what it is that they'll say? Hand raised.
Like sure they might not communicate, but when they do, I think they're blunt. Well, the ones that I've dealt with, anyways.
Okay. All right. And this kind of leads to the last question. And so these are all intertwined for a reason, right? So for those of you who chose bear, can you raise your hand? Okay.
And Maddie chose bear.
Maddie, do you chose bear?
Yeah.
Where's Maddie?
She did. She's just gonna come back in a second.
Okay. For those of you who chose bear, can you raise your hand again?
And then
And for those of you who chose that you would take truth from women, can you raise your hand again? Hang on.
Oh,
Alex.
truth for women.
So,
yes.
hang on.
Truth for women,
So,
yes.
so let me just ask again. Those of you who thought that you would get the truth, or if those of you who thought that the bear would be better over the man, raise your hand.
Okay.
Oh, hang
better
on.
over a man?
Alex, just based on your initial answer, based on just your initial answer, those of you who chose bear, can you raise your hand? Thank you. Okay, so all three of you. And those of you who said that a woman would be more likely to tell you the truth based on your initial answer, can you raise your hand? It's the same three.
So what's the problem?
Well, I just want to kind of point out that the women who would take the man's word over that of a woman in general tend to not take the bear. And those who would take the woman's word over the man tend to take the bear. And so I just think that this is a very interesting kind of thought experiment because I've seen this over and over and over. Now, I'd like to ask another question. Can you raise your hand if you're a feminist or identify with feminism? Alex, stop bullshitting me,
I have
Alex.
changed.
Stop
okay,
bullshitting
okay,
me, Alex. We've been
so-
through this a million times.
Yes,
Stop
okay, so
bullshitting
I
me.
do know. Okay, I actually, the main reason why I even made the painting to begin with for Brian is because the show has actually changed a few of my views on a lot of different things, including feminism. So I actually do not align with the current feminist views at all. So,
Which ones?
That I do not want to dismantle the patriarchy. And also just to point out, because the last time there was a question.
Do you want to vote?
I do want to vote, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So then I just got to ask you real quick. Which patriarchal systems do you feel men should be in charge of and women should never be?
So I actually don't think that man should be in charge. I actually, after the research, I'm more of a humanist. I think that everybody, so I think everybody just has, their own thing.
The good is the good, man, right? The good is the good, man.
I mean, honestly, yeah, I think everybody, just like I do not think you're a terrible person. I mean, I'm sure you think I'm a terrible person, but it's like, I do not think you're a terrible person. Yes, I know.
Terrible person. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I don't think that.
But it's like, I think that everybody should just be able to live whatever that they want to live, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else.
All right.
So
okay,
that's
so
it.
one more quick question, right, going around the table, just to, because right, again, this is just kind of a social experiment that I like to do. Can you just raise your hand around the table if both of your parents are still together?
My mom passed away, though. Does that still count before?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
You want me to be included in this?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yeah. Both your parents are still together. Okay. Gotcha. All right. That's what I had. Q, I was going to pass it over to you for your questions.
I didn't have any. I was like, you
nothing?
say,
Nothing? Okay. Well,
yeah, I didn't have no questions. I was
we'll
engaged in this.
we'll dive into this idea. This is we're going to move over to paleo psychology. This is, by the way, Q, I believe that you're an expert in paleo psychology.
Evolutionary psych. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of moving back, why do you think, Savannah, right, starting with you, why would you say that you think that men, and this has been pretty well researched, when men are asked what age demographic they find most attractive, they tend to go for younger women. Q, do you know what the ages are? I think it's early 20s.
Yeah, it's I've seen it fluctuate between 22 and 23. I believe, somewhere between
I think that's close to correct or correct enough, right? Don't quote me on this. But Savannah, why do you think that men tend to move towards that age demographic?
Probably because they look younger, better. I don't really know.
You think it's because
they haven't been with as many people, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
They haven't been with as many people?
Yeah.
So, like, not as much baggage?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then Gabby?
In my experience, when I was younger, dating men who were like 20, 30 years older than me, I think that they liked how open and curious I was. I think they liked having someone that they could teach things to, and like have a good time with. My mind wasn't like trying to control him or like thinking about the future. And I think some guys like that. They like having someone who's just open to living in the moment and that they can have the upper hand with.
What do you think about what Savannah said about baggage?
I agree. I think that that's one of the things they see. They see someone younger, and she most likely has less baggage than someone who's like in her 30s, like 38 and still single.
Maddie?
I think because there's a more malleable aspect about younger women, and in a good way and a bad way. Younger women haven't been with as many men, or many people don't have as much experience, but have typically at that time have a good amount. And then yes, the curiosity aspect of there is an older man wanting and willing and happy to show you the world, show you different things. It's kind of fun.
To the question, right?
Sure.
I just want to be concise here so that you know. Why do you think men are generally attracted to younger women in their early 20s?
Because it's fun for the man to show the woman, the young woman, new things, because she could have less quote-unquote baggage because she's younger and had less experience and not worn down by the relationships of life. And yeah, still the malleable aspect of her personality and how she can serve him in the relationship, essentially.
Okay. Kendra?
I think of it more from like a biological aspect. I think that, men look for like best, just like kind of how every animal does. They look for like the best, like prime, reproductive ages to reproduce and keep their generations going.
Okay, and then Emma?
I agree with the biological standpoint, and like fertility is what makes younger women attractive, but I also think it makes men feel like they were back in their early 20s, so it's more fun.
Okay, and then Alex?
Yeah, so I actually agree with every single person who's come before me, and especially like I was going to add that it makes a lot of times just feel younger and just feel more vibrant, and the life just feels overall better and happier, just because there's not as much baggage. There's the biological perspective, there's the past, and in general the curiosity. So
yeah, sure. And then Turkish?
I have a question. When you say a man wants to be with a younger woman, is that why?
No, that's not what I said.
Oh, no.
So I'll repeat the question. Hang on.
Yes.
Let me repeat the question. The relationship data that both myself and Q have looked at just is talking about attraction. and that men are mostly attracted to women in their younger 20s.
So
That's
it's just
all I'm asking is
attraction.
why you think that is the case.
I think males are attracted to women who are younger in the 22s, 23s, because they're very free-spirited, free-willed. Like, I feel like women know as well when you're younger, it's kind of like party season. Like, when you get older, I feel like me personally, as I get older, I think I have to settle more into like finding full-time work and like getting my life sorted. Whether when I was younger, I was like, let's have fun, let's go out, like let's mingle and whatever. And a male will like to be around that kind of energy if they are older, I guess, to feel younger, to know that that girl probably doesn't really have, hopefully not much or many issues, really. Like, literally just give them a good time to have fun, I guess.
Gotcha. Okay, I got all your answers. And Q, don't come in on this just yet.
Okay.
I'd like to get you last.
Okay.
Moving back to the beginning of the table, Savannah, does it give you the ick if a 45 or 50-year-old man only wants to date younger 20-year-old women?
Not really. I mean, if a 50-year-old man, I mean, he could look younger than 50.
He doesn't.
Oh, he doesn't?
He looks like he's exactly his age.
Oh, then maybe.
It gives you the ick?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Gabby?
It definitely makes me think that maybe there's some trauma going on with the girl. Maybe that's why she's with him.
No. That's the question is, does it give you the ick
Oh.
if a man who's in his late 40s or 50s wants to exclusively date women in their 20s?
Yes, I think there's something wrong with that.
Maddie, does that give you the ick?
Yes, for me personally, it does, because where my life trajectory of where I want to go and where he wants to go isn't lining up. I'm not having kids. I'm not building a life with someone that's 50 and having kids with them just for my kids to be, 15 and their dad's approaching their 70s. Like,
I understand.
I think,
Kendra, give you the ick.
I want to say it gives me the ick. It's just not my thing. Like, I feel like...
Is it kind of icky and that's why it's not your thing?
No, I just think I have different chemicals in my brain that like different things.
Okay. Emma?
Very
Does it give you the
icky.
ick?
Yeah, very icky, very kind of creepy.
Okay. Alex, give you the ick.
Exclusively only 20-year-olds?
Yeah.
It's a little bit questionable, but I mean, I don't necessarily.
Kind of gives you the ick?
But it's like, I don't really care because,
Yeah, I
I mean, at
understand,
that
but
point.
Does it kind of give you the ick?
It's like, I mean, it would interest me as to why, and kind
Yeah,
of
I know,
just
I
question.
get it.
So
You'd
it would
be
not
interested-
necessarily give me the
just, hang on.
No.
I'm not asking for like massive reasoning here or anything like that. I'm just asking intuitively, does it kind of give you the ick or not?
It does not give me the ick. It gives me a question.
And then moving over to Turkish,
Yeah.
does it give you the ick?
Yeah.
Gives you the ick?
Mhm.
Okay, so can I get a hand raised from all of you who said it gives you the ick? Got it. Okay. Hands down. All of you said and gave great reasons for why it is that you think that older men are attracted to younger women. And yet, when I give you the idea that there could be men who exclusively want to date that which they're attracted to, it gives you the ick. Can any of you tell me why that is?
I've been in that situation before, so